All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're back for round 3 of the live streams for Black Friday. If you have not hopped on Angrysnowboarderstore.com and bought your merchandise, you should do it now. It's selling out fast, a little faster than I thought it was going to. I think there's still a few coaches' jackets left, but mainly just the varsity hoodies. Oh God, Alan Russell is in the chat, so everyone be warned, he'll probably skin you alive. If anyone has any questions, make sure you put them over in the chat so I can see them and answer them. Right now, I know it's a little bit late, so people are probably tired or blown out from Thanksgiving and everything. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Also, if the stream cuts out, it's because we're experiencing like 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts out here right now. It's some next level bullshit outside. Like 1 degree, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and a snowstorm. So probably going to be a powder day tomorrow in Breckenridge. Hopefully you guys can get out there and do that. Big shout out to Gerald Clifford for the $200 super chat. That's fucking amazing. That's some next level stuff right there. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have any questions yet, but tomorrow look for some binding reviews to drop. I think we'll do the bent metal, logic, and transfer, and that'll finish up what we've written from bent metal. So you guys will have that. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Oh, Dan Rao, thoughts on the 2019 and newer Ride Machete? Can't find much info on it. So the old one was flat to rocker. The new one is camber with like a micro rocker in it. Really like the new one, actually. It's solid and snappy, but yet still like playful. It's a good like intermediate level twin for riding the whole mountain, but really pushing more of a freestyle focus. So there we go. James, Kathy, you should review the Union Felcors. That might actually happen next week. I got to see what bindings are sitting over at Gravity at Copper, because Union and Capita just dropped off a bunch of stuff. That was actually how I was able to get on the Super DOA yesterday. So if there's a set of Felcors over there, I will be grabbing them to review. Yes, let's see, what else? Oh, Donna J. Thakur, hey from India. Damn, what time is it in India right now? It's got to be early as shit over there. Yeah. Let's see what else. Carson Pesci, favorite pro, current or past? Right now, actually been following a bunch of the women, like Maria Thompson is killing it right now. Jill Perkins as well. As far as like guy pros right now, I actually follow like more regional riders than anything, because I think those guys are the true unsung heroes of snowboarding. Like they really don't have a high demand to put anything out, but yet they still chuck their meat. So there's a few of them around here that are just like friends of mine, like Alex Martin and whatnot. So yeah. Dean Hinton, early thoughts on the Super DOA? Well, it's super, that's for sure. I'd put it on par with like an Ultra Mountain Twin or an Ultra Aviator almost. That is a very demanding board that you really have to just give it your all. And I'll tell you what, that thing fucking sends you to the moon. I hit this one side hit that my boy Brucey and I have been hitting for a while, and it's like really carved out on the run because you can see where they blew the snow and then like pushed everything down. So it's like an East Coast side hit where you drop off the trail and then come back up. I mean, the thing is almost, you go in as deep as I am tall, which I'm 6 foot, but I probably boosted like 10 feet high on that thing yesterday and shot down like about 15 feet. That thing was aggressive, to say the least. So, yeah. Super DOA, not going to be for everyone. It's an ultra high-end twin, which is funny because people are like, oh, does it compare to the Huck Knife Pro or the Assassin Pro? And it's like, by and large, not even on the same level as that. It's some serious next-level shit on that thing. So, yeah, if anyone's got any questions, make sure you put them over there in the chat box for me so I can see them, hopefully get them answered for you. thought Kevin was supposed to be in here, but obviously he's probably playing with his wiener since it's a holiday. Because, God, he loves just playing with his wiener. And also, I don't know if anyone can hear that wind out there right now. It is howling. Like, it's windy in the house right now. And those are brand new windows. So, yeah. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Also, let me know if the connection has any issues or anything. We've got it hardwired in right now, and we upgraded to the fastest speed that they can offer us. Adam Cole. Alan Russell is here, so Kevin is obviously hiding. Yes, well, maybe. You never know what Kevin's doing anymore. So he's off doing Kevin things, to say the least. All right. Ooh, Dan Rao, best place to eat in Breck. It depends what you're looking for, but places that I would personally avoid so you don't have to deal with the tourist shit show. Downstairs at Eric's, Giam Petros, great pizza, but you're talking peak season. There's like a 2-hour wait for it, and honestly, it's good, but it's not great. But if you're talking fine dining, Modus, Twist, Orem, Briar Rose, those are 4 really, really solid ones. If you want like mid-level food and you don't want to wait too long, Michael's actually has probably the best pizza in town, and they're an Italian restaurant, so get the pizza to go and go back and eat it in your hotel room. Avoid Ollie's. That food is garbage. Legends is overpriced, and I think they're on their 4th or 5th chef in 2 years, so not that good. Sancho's Tacos is good, but make sure you get there early, because if you get there a little bit later, it's going to be standing room only probably. Breck Brewery has a great lunch as well. Also, always buy the beers that are brewed at the brewery here in Breckenridge and not mass brewed down in Denver. Castaways Cove in the bottom of River Mountain Lodge. It's a new place. It's tiki themed. I really like what Mitch and Justin are doing over there as well. There's also Fatty's Pizzeria. It's kind of like a sports bar type thing. They crank them out in there though. So if they say that it's like a 40-minute wait, it's probably actually like a 20-minute wait. Don't bother eating at Northside or Extreme Pizza unless you want to blow your fucking colon out. It's garbage ass pizza, and I can say that because I'm a fucking New Yorker. So yeah. Anyways, you got a bunch of different options. Also, late night, always go to Red's. It's also known as Above the Blue. It's on the south side of town, across from the La Cima Mall. You got fire ass euros for $10. He's doing Philly cheesesteaks and falafel, or heated hummus pita is what he's calling it. Anyways, so yeah. And there we go. We got a super chat in from Brandon McConkey. What are your thoughts on the LibTech Climax? I haven't seen any legit reviews on it. Also, if you don't get some Felcars from the shop, I have an extra set you can take for a drive, and I will be up there in a couple weeks. Well, cool. Appreciate that. No, I should be able to get them from the shop. I thought I actually had a review of the LibTech Climax, but that might have been the gold member now that I think about it. Oh no, there's a bunch of those high-end LibTechs that got dropped off to us, so maybe I didn't ride the Climax. I don't know. I rode 127 boards, so it's just too many boards. But I think it's one of those high-end boards that you can really see if I did a. I don't think we did a. No, we didn't do a LibTech Climax review. I thought we did. Maybe that was one of the boards we didn't. But from what I understand, that board is like the creme de la creme with the Travis Rice name on it. Doesn't mean it's the best. Kevin rode it, I remember him saying, and he thought it was overrated. So, yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. Paul WB, ridden my new party platter opening weekend at Mount Snow. So far out east here, no reason not to ride the Space Case. Should I be waiting for some power? Best time to break out the party platter out east. If that snow is soft and creamy or like soupy or anything, bust that motherfucker out and go for it. If it's going to be icy and just like man-made, definitely ride your Space Case instead. You're going to have better edge hold on it. Oh, Gerald Clifford, Flipside Burger. Yeah, Flipside actually has a really good burger in there. And Vegas, the bartender, Johnny's from the same area as me. Love that dude. So if you do get a chance, go to Flipside on Main Street. Let's see. Let's see what else we got going on here for questions. Ninja Bick, what's up, Angry? Really appreciate all the top fives this week. Yeah, sorry I didn't drop any top fives today. I actually had 2 filmed, but I didn't really like them, and I wanted to go eat Thanksgiving with some friends and see my adopted nephew. So with them, because that kid's going to be the future of snowboarding. So I wanted to go like bounce him a little bit, not shake the baby, bounce the baby. Don't ever shake the baby, and don't put a baby in a microwave either. That's a real thing. Let's see, continuing on from Ninja Bick. My buddy is looking to get out of the full rocker game and is overwhelmed with the options. He's a beginner that rides zero park. Does he go twin hybrid, directional, short fatty? Anything come to mind? I think he should go directional for sure if he's not riding any park. Like at least get an all mountain freestyle board with some setback. If not, get an all mountain free ride board. I would say if he's just getting off the rocker game, put him on something like a Jones Frontier, so it's cam rocker. That way he's got that camber underfoot, but yet he's still got rocker out in the tip and the tail if he wants to butter or play around. Let's see. Shardbot, what's worse, shop kid who wants to sell you on his brand, or the know-it-all who reads too many reviews and tries to school the owner? I have literally seen both. We'll give you a little story time. So my friend John and his wife Jessie used to own a shop on Main Street, Breckenridge, called the Lumberyard. It was a great shop. Fortunately, the building got sold, so they closed it down. But one of the best things, one of the funniest things was this kid came in and was talking about buying a smoke-in, and he's like, well, and I was in there helping him out, and I was like, yeah, it does this and this. And he was talking about the Asymmetrical, which is one of my favorite smoking boards. And, I was like, well, it rides like this, and this. And he goes, it doesn't ride like that. The Angrysnowboarder says that it rides like this. And I looked at him and I was like, strange, I don't remember fucking writing the review like that. Kid's jaw just hit the fucking ground. And because he thought he was going to school me. And then he's like, well, this board rides like this. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And no, it doesn't. And his girlfriend was with him. She was cute. I should have hit on her more. But that one sucked. But I think there's nothing worse than a kid that's bought off by a rep and that's all they're going to push. Like when I worked at the shop Kevin works at now, I was the K2 guy. Like that was the brand I supported, K2, a little bit of Nitro. And, I got hooked up with some stuff from them. But one of the things I always did was I'd pull a K2 out. And if I pulled a K2 out, there'd be a ride and a Burton or a Mervyn right next to it. So I could give you like 4 options. I find that if you do that, you give people more options, it's better. But they're both equally annoying in their own right. What's even funnier now is when I go into a shop and I'm just kicking tires, or I just want to see how the shop is. If it's not one of my local shops that knows me, I love to play just dumb and retarded just to see how they treat me. And it is some of the funniest shit. I had a girl one time kept trying to push me to buy a ride kink, saying it had slime wall. So when I asked her what a slime wall does, she's like, I don't know, but it has it. And I was like, okay, let me explain this to you. What this does is this, and this. And she's like, I didn't know that. And I was like, let me guess, you had a ride clinic yesterday and they told you if you sold 10 boards, you'd get a free one. She's like, how did you know? And I was like, well, you need to up your fucking game, bitch, because you suck. So, yeah, awful. All right, so we got the super chat from Michael Anderson. What's worse, good ride guy or Instagram influencers, i.e. Buckhouse promoting bad products? Also, am I allowed to be friends with a skier? They have poles and can pull me along on the flats. Thanks for all your work. The good ride does more damage to snowboarding because everyone just assumes that the way his site's laid out, that it's all professional and he knows what he's talking about when he's sitting there going, and he's chugging fucking Alfredo sauce and shit, which actually I should make a sticker that says don't chug Alfredo sauce. If you think that would be a funny ass bumper sticker for me to make, leave me a comment over in the chat. But he does damage to it. The funny thing about Buckhouse promoting bad products was he asked us for the 20 Questions podcast what our thoughts were on Amazon brands and if they're hurting snowboarding's mainstream brands. And I went off on a tangent in the podcast, which you can find the audio podcast on Podbean, but I'll have the video snippets up here in a week. I went off and just said the thing that's hurting it is all the people that are taking a $200 fucking paycheck from some shit ass goggle brand to promote it. Like Casey did that with, what was it, that Juju brand or something? They hit me up and I was like, no, I'm not promoting your shit. Your goggles are whack as fuck. I think that shit, because you get people that are just like, well, this person said it and they're endorsing it. And there's like, one, I don't even think they're disclosing that they're actually getting paid, which is illegal by the FTC. That came out about 13 years ago or so. The FTC changed. It was all because of mommy bloggers promoting products. So they actually changed the law, and they can be fined, I think, up to $5,000 per time that they lied. They have to disclose if they're being paid for a promotion. I've always been able to skirt the line, mainly because if they ever came at me and said that, I'd be like, look at all these reviews where I literally shit on the product. And they'd be like, oh, okay, you're not bought off. But yeah, that bullshit really fucking, it hurts all of us, or well, all of you. It doesn't hurt me because I'm just like, fuck, what are you doing? No, fuck, stop it. And because I've been around so long, like, it does that. But by and large, Good Ride and influencers both hurt snowboarding whenever they promote shit wrong. Like, Good Ride just gives out tons of shit ass advice. I do love that he's got a boot fit guide on the website now, which is literally taken verbatim from all my videos and all the information I've given from Boot Fit Month, which makes me laugh because that dude has probably never worked on a boot a day in his life, just like he's never sold a snowboard on a sales floor. But yeah, and as far as being friends with skiers, you can be friends with them, but you need to let them know that they need to repent for their sins. They're sinners. Sinners. Just don't be friends with anyone in a Ruroc helmet or ski blades or a ski bike. And snow skaters are questionable at best. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. Richard Herleman. Hi, Angry. Intermediate male rider looking to progress all mountain, including park. Often ride ice. Want a daily driver. 155 pound stance, 19 to 20 wide. 18 degrees on the front, negative 15. Is the yes standard 151 too much for me? No, because you're getting the 51. If you were getting like the 55, that would be a little more aggressive. But because you're going to the smaller size and you're at the higher end of the weight spectrum, in my opinion on that, you should be okay with it. Let's see what we got going on in here. Cyborg Santa 2, the killer of Cyborg Santa 1. Have you used Phantom Wax? What are your thoughts? I haven't used that Phantom DPS Glide Wax yet, but I've actually got some stuff from Snowcoat. The goal is tomorrow do a video on how to base clean your board, and then I'm going to cover a board with it and see how it rides. I need to get my Telos backslash back from my friend Jordan as well, because I want to put that on there. But I think theoretically, like, it looks amazing and it looks like it should work. And I think it's actually a smarter alternative to waxing. So that's kind of where I keep it. So yes. All right. Ninja Bick, do you still ride the GNU Spam? I don't. I never actually bought one. I ended up buying a Dinosaurs Will Die Brewster instead. But I still love the Spam. It's a great board. I kind of wish I had bought one, but at the same time, I've realized that my personal boards get about 20 to 25 days of riding a season, and I am riding so much product for everything else. So for the reviews. Water bottle. Is Kevin allowed out of the basement on this fine evening? I don't know where that fucker is, but he's probably playing with his goddamn wiener again. So he said he was going to try to make it on tonight, but I think he might actually be at work, which if that's the case, he probably won't make it on till at least at the earliest 9:30, but closer to 10. So yeah. Kale Mitchell, what is the craziest shit you've ever seen go down on the mountain? I've seen so much shit, but the gnarliest one that I can ever remember was I was a senior in high school, and there was this skier kid, Sam, that worked at Holiday Valley in the kitchen. He graduated a year before me, so he was taking like a year off to be like a ski bum, and he was friends with my friend Josh Hilliker, amazing snowboarder. He's a doctor now. But Sam was a loose fucking skier, like really loose. And this is right when twin tips were coming out in about 01 and starting to really become a thing. And the way, if you've never been to Holiday Valley, if you go and look at a trail map for Foxfire, it's a giant ass head wall that flattens out, then peaks down again. And the way they used to do it was build a jump, then they had the half pipe, and then they had the jump. This is before they moved the half pipe to the right and clear cut and put it over there and did some dirt work. So it was a snow, it's like they claimed it had dirt work, but it was really a snow one. So he came down the head wall, which is one of the steeper runs, hit the first jump and pumped it, was pumping the walls of the half pipe and came into the second. And you could see him from the Cindy's chair. And I was like, yo, dude, here comes Sam. And he hit the second jump. And it was maybe at max a 25, 30-foot jump, if that. And he started doing the fucking Running Man on his skis in midair. He was probably 20 feet above the jump, and he probably went about 100 feet past it. So he's doing the Running Man. He hit so hard, he completely exploded. The skis broke. His legs, like, you know, like normally like a knee bends. Yeah, his legs snapped. It looked like he had 3 sets of knees on each leg, and he was awake. The screams, you could hear him from 500 feet away. So the whole chair ride, this is before cell phones really existed, and you know, like everyone had one, and we're just like, So we're screaming at anyone that we can see to be like, go get patrol, you know, and we're like screaming. We get to the top and just run in the lift shack, and we're like, yo, call patrol, bottom of Foxfire, there's an injury, it's going to be bad. So they show up, and like they close the run, they pull Sam, and, you know, the ambulance is there before he even makes it to the base area, which from where he landed, the base area is relatively close. And, I can't remember if he got flight for life on that or not. I don't think he did. I think they took the ambulance all the way to Olean, which is like about 40 minutes away. And so they cart him off, and we're like, dude, what the fuck happened to him? You know, like, they were like, there was pools of blood on the hill where he hit. Like, he exploded. Like, I'm pretty sure he had a couple tri-compound fractures. But from what I remember it was broken pelvis, not fractured. Broken pelvis, broken hip, 2 broken femurs, a broken tibia, fibula, broken scapula, broken forearm, 3 ribs, a punctured lung, a torn spleen, perforated intestine. And he was awake through all this, like screaming bloody murder through the whole thing. And like, that was one of the gnarliest things I've ever witnessed from a chairlift. And then there was the time I watched a guy die, which I've seen a few people die, but this guy was like dead. Like, ski patrol on top of him, chest compressions. They're trying to do it. They like two patrollers. They were like double riding the sled, so the one was on each side, and they had one guy being pulled on the little dolly, and the other guy was on top of him, chest compressing. And the guy's leg was like up on the sled, and it fell out, hit the ground, and it snapped. Like, it came around, and they were still chest compressing him and trying to restart his heart. I'm pretty sure he fucking died. I was like 16 when I saw that. So, yeah, definitely seen some weird shit on there for sure. But that one takes the cake. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Kevin is in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, be sure to direct them at Kevin. Allen, you play nice with Kevin in the chat. All right. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Sam did live from that, and he got his legs all fused back together, and he came back the next year and was skiing. But we used to call him crazy legs because when he would walk, his legs would like kick out in really different ways too. So, yeah, he lived. Let's see. Okay. What do we got here? Cyborg Santa 2, should I get the sushi slush slasher if I have a Burton custom? Was also thinking Orca and Kazu for Australian snow. Kazu is an aggressive board, just so you know. Like, that is a fucking aggressive board. A lot of camber in that. But I would probably actually go with the sushi over the slush slasher just because of the side cut on the sushi will grip better on that ice you have there. So if it came down to it, sushi or orca, dealer's choice on that, if you really wanted to. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Caleb Bodie, what is the point of Rurock if you really wanted to look that stupid? Why not just get a ski mobile helmet? Probably has more protection. Guaranteed the jaw won't break on it when you fall on it like you would on a Rurock. Fuck, dude. If there's anyone in here and they ride a Rurock, please just end your life. Just Harry Carey. It's just make the world a better place for all snowboarders. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. All right, Dan Rao. Best fight you've ever seen on the mountain other than the one where you ripped off the dude's dick. I watched a 90-year-old guy try to pick a fight with a 20-year-old kid at the top of Beaver Run at Breckenridge. And it was the most gloriously hilarious thing I've ever seen, because at one point the guy had his ski pole right by the basket and was trying to stab the guy, but he was so old and feeble the kid just kept pushing him back on his skis, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And finally I was like, this is too sad, this old man's gonna fall over and break his hip, I have to stop it. And I went over and I was like, hey man, I get you're pissed, you need to chill out. Then he said something about snowboarders and took a swing at me with the pole, and I was like, old man, I will break your fucking hip. And that was pretty much the end of it. And he was just like skied off, mumbling to himself. And the kid was like, I don't even know what his problem was. And like just straight up dementia or some shit. It's pretty funny. All right. Alan Russell, Averin, can you please take a minute to discuss the importance of Jake? I think we all have tons to be thankful to the guy for, and this week is the proper time. All right. Kevin and I talked about it briefly in the podcast intro for the 2020 Questions podcast, but for every person right now, right here, this very moment, you would not be here if it was not for Jake Burton and him being the guy that opened up ski resorts, the guy that created a whole industry. Now, the way to look at it is the holy trinity of our founding fathers. You have Sherman Poppins, who created a toy for his child, which facilitated guys like Tom Sims and Jake Burton to push it to the next level. Tom Sims invented the snowboarder. Jake Burton invented the snowboard industry. Every person in the snowboard industry in some way, shape, or form has a way to say that Jake did it for us. And we wouldn't be here. Like, my life would not be anything without snowboarding. And that is all due in part to one man's dream and drive to turn a toy into a billion-dollar industry. And he did that. Jake, while he did do a lot of fucked up shit, and a lot of people will look back now that he's passed with rose-colored glasses, especially if you read Pat Bridges' write-up on Snowboarder about it, did more for snowboarding as a whole by facilitating getting resorts open, forcing companies to make a better product, like the competition and rivalry amongst everyone else, as well as creating an image to what snowboarding is and progressing that image to get us to where we are today. We owe everything to him. Like, the fact that that man died and there's only 3 resorts that don't allow snowboarding in the world is a fucking testament, because when he started Burton, there was no resorts that allowed snowboarding. And then when he opened, he started by opening the doors to other ones. It changed everything. And it created a lifestyle and a culture completely around it. And that guy, it can be tied back to the work that he did. So that's the real importance about Jake. Like, Kevin and I wouldn't know each other. Alan and I wouldn't know each other. None of you would know who I am. None of you would know what's going on in snowboarding, because it probably just wouldn't exist on the level that it does without Jake's hand and what he did. So we're all forever indebted to that man and what he has done. So yeah. So that's Jake. Kale Mitchell, tips for someone trying to move to Colorado. I really want to move out to Steamboat and go to CMC. Parents really not giving a fuck about what I want. Well, your parents can suck dicks with their buttholes. Parents always think they know what's best for their kids. And unfortunately, that's not always true. Just so everyone understands, there was about a 7-year time frame where my parents did not believe in anything that I was doing for Angrysnowboarder would amount to shit. They didn't say they were proud of what I was doing until I was almost 29 years old. So they questioned everything I did. They kind of had a path that they wanted me to do it. Parents, they mean well, but they need to let you figure it out on your own and need to realize that traditional paths that were there for them are not necessarily the right ones. CMC and Steamboat is a great place to get your foothold in for snowboarding, especially if you want to work in the snowboard industry. A lot of great people come out of there. So I lived in Steamboat the first year I lived in Colorado. And let me tell you, if you go to Steamboat, you can go to the ski and snowboard business program. It's a joke. It's an utter joke. But you will meet some like-minded people, and if you keep your head down and know what you're doing, because a lot of your projects will be judged by Bernie from Powder Tools, who's a friend of mine. He's harsh. He's kind of an asshole. He's from Philly, and he will chew you a new ass, but you will come out of it better. But if you listen to him and you can get a job at Powder Tools, that will open the door so much for you to go further in snowboarding. Like Travis, our old intern, I helped get him a job with Bernie at Powder Tools while he went to CMC and Steamboat. He's now a sub rep for Vans. He's done work for Burton. He's worked for Woodward at Copper, and he's 21 years old, and he has more experience than most people that are 28 years old. And so he's going to go places in snowboarding. It's amazing. What I would tell you to do is go to Steamboat, get the business program degree, do the classes with the ski and snowboard business program, especially pay attention for the shop stuff, that base level stuff like boot fitting, design, marketing, management, understanding all those numbers and the accounting behind it. That'll build you up. You'll have to live in the dorms the first year, so make sure you get a good roommate and not some fucking hick from the middle of nowhere that for some reason ended up there because they couldn't get into a community college to play football anywhere else or some bullshit. There's always hicks there. It's the weirdest fucking thing. There's always fucking hicks. Don't get it. But the big thing is the cost of living. You are going to be shell-shocked when you get there to do it. So what I would do is try to have about $5,000 saved up. Do that when you get to town. Apply at Powder Tools. You're probably going to get denied, but you could work for Christie Sports in there. Try to find a job at a shop or something like that, or a restaurant, something that lets you shred. Make sure that you set your schedule so that you don't have morning classes. You will blow off morning classes to go ride POW. You do not want to fail out of college because then your parents will probably force you to move home and it will suck. So do that, but save about $5,000. Understand that you need, if you build your classwork around it, you will be able to shred every day until about 1. Do not fall into the party scene up there. That is a very prevalent thing. The cocaine is not that good. You do not need to drink every night to impress anyone. Do get a fake ID, though. Get a fake ID. You want to get a fake ID and hang out at the Pirate Bar. That's where people hang out up there. And you'll kind of figure it out from there, man. It's not that hard. Plus, you do 2 years at CMC and Steamboat, then you move down to Summit County or Leadville area. You finish up your degree because you'll get a 4-year degree from CMC. If you can live year-round in Colorado, you will get in-state tuition as well, which drastically drops your price. So definitely something to consider. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. Kevin's killing people in here. All right. Paul Porter just wants everyone to know he's stuck on I-80 traffic and snow everywhere, teasing him. As long as you don't have to eat someone to survive, you'll make it to the mountain. So, yes. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Andrew Cruz, only got to ride my Captain Navigator on Groomers when I bought it last season. Did I make the right choice selling my Libtech cold brew? Bonus question, what the fuck is Libtech's co-centered base? Uh, I think the co-centered base is the recycled base. I'm not too sure on that one. I'd have to look it up and kind of read more about it. Maybe Kevin can answer that question. I don't know if you made the right choice selling your cold brew. Sounds like last year was a bad winter for wherever you were. For everywhere else, the Navigator would have been fucking amazing with the amount of snow that we got. So, yeah, I don't really know where to go with that. I mean, just go out and fucking shred, man. You'll figure it out. So yeah. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. I think we're kind of caught up. Yeah. Legendary Steve, Solitude or Snowboard, what did you enjoy better? Well, Alan Russell and I did not go to Snowbird, but we did go to Solitude, and Solitude was fun, and he and I crushed about 20 laps in 2 hours and dipped out, and I drove back to Colorado. If anything, for that canyon or that area of Colorado or Utah, Brighton takes the cake. So, yeah, always go to Brighton. Oh, let's see what we got here. Michael Kulik, the talk of fights is funny. At the moment, I'm bouncing at a dive bar. Got to get extra shred money somehow. I was a bouncer on and off for almost 10 years. My brother used to own a bar in Ellicottville, New York, called the Double Diamond, and it was a snowboarder bar, and Holiday Valley and Hollymont were there, and I was the door guy. I've had my fair share of bouncing people out. I still think the best was the most homoerotic MMA fighter I've ever seen in my life. It was Oktoberfest weekend for us, which we call Fall Fest there. It didn't matter if you were 35 or under, you were getting ID just because that weekend is just such a shit show. So this guy comes up, tries to barge in. I was like, yo, man, I got a CID. And he's like giving me shit, and his girlfriend and her brother are there, and they take their ID out, no questions asked. But this guy's just giving me shit. And he's got this rhinestone fucking shirt on that says Italian Mafia. So he takes out his ID and he hands it to me, and he's like, you see that name? And there are more syllables than I know what to do. And I'm looking at it going, what the fuck is this thing? And he's like, you see this? And I was like, yeah, I see it. I see you're of age. I also see you being an asshole. And he looks at me and he's like, you see that name? I could make you disappear. And I was like, you know what I can do? Make you disappear. Go fetch. And I threw his ID into the middle of the street. This guy was a fucking meathead. Well, I should stipulate, before I did that, he told me that he's an MMA fighter and he could kick my ass. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what you got. So I throw it in there. He goes dead silent, looks at me, and starts crying. And I'm like, go get your fucking ID, bitch, and get the fuck out of here. So he like moves back. His sister or his girlfriend goes to punch me. I step back and just smack her, and I'm just like, smack her hand out of the way. I'm just like, move it, bitch. His dorky ass sister or girlfriend's brother, whatever, tries to smack me. I just grab him by the side of the neck and just throw him to the ground. At this point, they're like, you know who we are? We could close you down. We could do this. We're Italian Mafia. We're this. I'm a MMA fighter. And I was like, yeah, and you're crying like a little bitch. And he's like, I'll show you a little bitch. So he swings at me with an open palm. I fucking smack him in the face. And I'm just like, no. And he's just like, dead stop. So my brother comes out, and they're like, we're coming in. And my brother's like, if he says you're not coming in, you're not coming in. Well, we know the owner. And my brother goes, well, I'm the owner, and that's my brother. If he says you're not coming in. So at this point, the chick decides, well, if she can't hit me, she's going to hit my brother. So she goes to swing at my brother, and without even like thinking about it, straight just throat chop, just right in the throat. So she's just like this. MMA guy is like, fuck you, I'm going to take you, and goes to put hands on me. And I like, left hand, 4 fingers right in the throat. Just he's just like this, like, oh my God. Nerdy brother tries to swing at me and hits my brother in the shoulder. I got him with a closed fist right in the jaw. And guess what's walking right down the street? 2 state troopers who are like, do we have a problem? And I was like, yes, they've tried to assault me. I'm the door guy. They're a little bit belligerent and they're drunk and I will not let them in. Oh, okay. Citation for drunk in public right there on the spot. Pulled them away. This is the funniest shit in the world. And the best part is, like, MMA guy with his Italian Mafia rhinestone shirt is sitting there like, I'm going to close you down, blah, 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 blah. And my brother goes, Dino Gambino and the rest of the Gambino family is in here. Do you want me to go get them so they can tell you you're not Italian Mafia? That dude cried even harder, like the little bitch that he is, and walked away. And this is why you never fuck with the door guy, ever. You are, yes, sir, no, sir, you are right, sir, I will show you my ID, sir. I am 37 years old. I still get ID'd in this town, and I still show them my ID. And this is people that I had served at the liquor store every day for weeks on end. So, yes, I get your pain, man. Being a door guy, not fun. All right. Drew Weisner, can you give your thoughts on overpowering a board versus riding more balanced? Does a stiffer board compensate for poor form? No, a stiffer board actually doesn't. I think it hinders people with poor form. It makes it stand out more. Like, they think that they're like, oh, I'm muscling this board, but you can see when they're going into a turn that they're twisting their body even more, or they're bending their knees in weird positions. A lot of bending at the waist more than anything. Overpowering a board usually is a sign that the rider is above the level of the board and they know what they're doing. Like, I overpower boards a lot, but that's to take it to the maximum limit. Once I know where the maximum limit is, I can tone it back and ride it that way. So whenever I see a rider overpowering a board, I kind of just want to be like, yo, man, it's time to let that thing go and move on to something a little bit stiffer. But, you know, a stiffer board doesn't compensate for poor form. I think, if anything, a softer board can hide it better, especially if you get someone with like a reverse camber board. There's so many people riding skate bananas out there that suck at riding, but they're like, look at me, I can do presses and I can dig my edge in and make turns and blah, blah, blah. And it's literally reverse camber compensating for the fact that they don't know how to fucking ride. So, yeah. Let's see. And just so everyone knows, I don't watch MMA. I don't like MMA. I don't care about MMA. Okay, let's see what we got here. Dweezy, when can I be the unpaid black intern? I'll just Nick beats for it. Marcus has retired from Angrysnowboarder. I think he's retired from just about everything and is pursuing a very corporate career, and I'm looking so forward to seeing what he does in the next 5 to 10 years. So yeah. So there we go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh. Let's see if there's anything else I missed here. Kale Mitchell, we got water bottle, Avern's cock, and Kevin's wiener. What a time to be alive. I don't know if it's a good time to be alive, but it's there. Oh, man. Let's see what we got here. Avern's cock. I love that. That's a great name. Okay. I love that we got some trolls in here with Kevin's wiener and Avern's cock. That's a good one. All right. Adam Cole, have you guys noticed that most of the people encountering Avern end up crying? I can't help that. Society in the United States is breeding a bunch of pussies, and they don't know how to deal with someone like me that just does not give zero fucks about them. I can't help it. They're weak. They need to strengthen up. Not everything is rainbow and unicorn sunshine piss. So, yeah. There we go. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. Let's see what we got going here. Ninjabick, how long did you live in Washington? I usually snowboarded at Snoqualmie Pass. I lived there for about, I think it was like just shy of almost a year that I lived in Skykomish and Leavenworth up there with the evil ex-girlfriend, whose name will not be mentioned because she's fucking evil. She's just fucking evil. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Got a bunch of retracted messages. What's up with you motherfuckers retracting messages? Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. I think I'm catching up on stuff. Hopefully Kevin's answering your questions in there when he actually decides to venture out. Oh, Josh Stone's here, everyone. Pick on him. He's a skier. He says he's going to snowboard this year, but everyone pick on Josh Stone. Okay. Kiel Mitchell, thoughts on Telluride and Crested Butte, and is Aspen as good as everyone hypes it up to be? I think I talked a little bit about Telluride and Crested Butte in the last live stream for you. Basically, Telluride, you got Oprah Winfrey and Tom Cruise with houses down there. You got locals that celebrate celebritology. It's like Scientology, but it's about celebrities. Never actually been to Telluride. That's just too far out of the way for me. Crested Butte is steep, and if it's getting snow, it's good. But if it's not, there's a reason they call it crusty. But Aspen's amazing. You got 4 great mountains. The snow's good. It's like what they consider Aspen crowded isn't even as busy as a non-holiday off-peak time day here in Summit County. Like, the terrain is a phenomenal. You do deal with a lot of hoity-toity people there. I went down there with my buddy Mark, and we went into the one lodge to hit the pisser, and it had a fucking Gucci store in there. And so he left the bathroom before I did, and I'm still in there, and I come out, and I can't find him. And I walk out, and I was like, what's going on? And he's like, dude, I was the only black person in there, and there was like 400 people looking at me. I had to go outside. He's like, also, my outerwear has some holes in it. I don't think I'm on their level. And I was like, yeah, you're definitely not on their level. Let's go spray some people. But yeah, every time I've been to Aspen, I've had a field day down there. I want to actually get down there a little bit more this year. So yeah. All right. All right. Let's see what we got now. Dweezy, are programs like iMaximize and incline airbags making kids soft as everyone else learned on sketchy powder jumps? I think it's making them actually a little bit more safer. My old roommate, Dylan Thomas, before he retired from snowboarding, used to actually go up to Maximize and train for a couple weeks and practice a bunch of shit before he would go do Tour and Grand Prix and shit like that in the Burton US Open and whatnot. And he said that what was good about it was, yeah, they had the airbags, but what people didn't realize was that they also had a jump line that was based off the Breck jump line. Like, Max and Alt took all the measurements of it, and then he built it into the dirt up there. So he had his own jump. So they could do the airbag, and if they needed to take it to their back, they could practice, but then they could go take it right to snow the same day and do it. So it did make them a little bit safer. It's kind of jockish shit, but you can always spot the kids that learned how to land in powder, because they're the ones that can still land in powder versus the kids that learned on a perfect park jump, because those motherfuckers do not understand how to land a powder jump, and they eat shit and die usually. So, yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, that's it. Brian Mullane, heard Buckhouse cried when you called him out on his junk uggles. He shouldn't cry. He should realize that he's hurting snowboarding and man up. Just because he needs to take fucking $200, maybe if he was better at marketing himself, he could make money in alternate ways. I swear to God, I need to sit that kid down and show him how to do affiliate links and actually make money. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Chico Derguch moved west recently. Why all the studded tires? It's been easier to drive here than on PA ice. I swear to God, most of the people that buy studded snow tires out west are from the East Coast, and they're used to having studded snows to get around. Like, I don't run studs at all on the Volvo. I just run a really high-end winter tire for it, because I don't feel that like a studded snow really benefits you except in a storm. But some people, like, they swear by it. I don't know. I hear that little ting, 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 ting every time they drive down the street and whatnot. So it's definitely not something I recommend. But I also feel like a lot of people Haven't learned how to do donuts in a snowy parking lot either as children, and it shows. Whoa. Anyone else hear that wind out there? Holy shit. Hasn't been this windy up here in like 2 years. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Eric Farmer, why are you so fucking angry? Because I can be. That's why. Do what I want. Joe Bryant, got to go back to work slinging pies and Tahoes. I've got all seasons on my all-wheel drive, no problem. Have a good stream. Well, dude, have fun slinging pies. Maybe tell us where you're working out there in Tahoe, because if I'm coming out, maybe I'll come by and get some pizza. So, yeah, love pizza. Oh, let's see what's going on up here. I think I missed one. Oh, let's see. Okay. Let's see what's going on. I feel like I missed it. Okay, yeah. Dweezy, please make a comedy segment of Ask a Furry Snowboarder. We're talking the people in the costumes. That shit's fucking creepy as shit. I know you're a fucking furry there, Dweezy, and you're black, and you're a furry, so you're like even more of a minority, which is even sketchier. I don't know. Swear to God, dude, you're into that weird, kinky, orgy, tentacle porn bullshit. Just furching on, or futching, or whatever it is, or felching. I don't know what it is. I saw it in an episode of CSI, the original. Not that Miami bullshit, because that redhead guy, fucking freaky, man. Although he was great in First Blood. All right. Ninja Bick, have you ever been to Red Mountain in Canada thinking of doing a snowboarding trip in February? I haven't, but Kevin has. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Drew Weisner, have you ever thought about producing a snowboard movie? You seem to know enough riders to get something great together. Let me tell you about doing snowboard movies. You ever herded cats? That's what it's like. Not just with the riders, but actually getting the funding from the companies to do it. And then you have to pray that you get the snow to do it, that you get the shots to do it, then you put it all together. It is way more work. Anyone that does a snowboard movie, I respect them so much to do it, to make it a legit movie. But I've got a producer credit, I think, on 2 different older snowboard movies, and I've got a lot of thank yous in them. I have no ambition. I know how much work that is, and it is a labor of love with a very minimal return in this day and age. So, yeah, there you go. Josh Stone, much easier to produce, film a porno than a winter sports movie. So there's actually like a porn house here in Breckenridge that most people don't know about. But anytime that you see like one of those modern looking whitewashed houses on the inside with the wood trim and there's snow falling in the background and there's lodgepole pines, that's actually filmed on Peak 8 in Breckenridge. It was filmed right across the street from where Kevin and I used to live. It's not uncommon for porn stars to come through here all the time. Plus, Denver's becoming a hub of cam girls and whatnot. Plus, I think there's also like 5 cam girls that live up here. Constantly find them on Tinder, match with a few of them, but they're just trying to get me to watch their cam show. And I'm like, no. That's not how this works, hussy. So, but yeah, anytime you see a snow porn, generally, like if it's a house and there's a window, it's filmed here. It's filmed on Peak 8, hot tub sex scenes, which it's actually fun. You guys want an angry late night story. So I have a friend that owns a house cleaning company up here, and she's owned it for years. She got a really random phone call in the middle of the night, and they left a voicemail, and they were like panicking. And so she's like, okay, sounds like they got a really bad stain. It's probably like red wine on a white carpet. So she calls them back in the morning, and they're like, oh, thank God you called. Everyone else has said that they can't do it, but they've recommended you. And she goes, well, what is it? You know, do you just need the carpet steam cleaned or whatever? And they're like, we spilled an industrial-sized bottle of KY jelly into the carpet and then poured water on it thinking we could get it out that way. They didn't use dry shampoo, which is what you're supposed to do. So she went up there, and she shows up to the house, and it was really weird. Like, they ushered her in, and she could see into different rooms, and there was all these, like, light rigs and cameras, and there's a bunch of half-naked women, and she's just like, what the fuck is going on? And they show her to the room, and finally, so she's like looking at everything, and she starts seeing that there's like bottles of lube everywhere, and she's putting two and two together, and it was finally like she saw this jumbo butt plug, and she was like, are you guys shooting porn? And they're like, oh, don't say anything. This is adult erotica. That's it. And that's the way they went with it. But she spent about 6 hours shampooing out. She got it all out for them. They gave her, I think they paid her like $4,500 for doing it because they were going to lose like a $20,000 deposit on one of these mansions that they were in. It was crazy. But yeah, so that happens. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. I feel like I'm missing some questions here. Okay. Brett Logwood, are you getting some good snow in Colorado? It's just fucking raining here in Kansas. Have I told you how much I hate living in the flatlands? You made your choices. You have to live with them. Right now, we are having like 80-mile-per-hour winds out there. It's snowing. It was dropping like close to an inch every hour for a while today. I think tomorrow will be really telling how the wind loaded everything and see where we're at. Sunday will probably be better. But, yeah, we're definitely getting some snow. But then I think next week let me see what it says here for the next week. Yeah, Saturday snow, sunny, Sunday sunny, Monday sunny, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday overcast, but in the high 30s to low 40s. Saturday sunny, and then snow again next Sunday. So there's definitely some storms coming in. Oh. Someone dug up the ghost of Adolf Hitler. I thought he was in hell having Adam Sandler shove pineapples up his butts. But he's asking, any thoughts on my works in the 40s? You blew it. You were evil. And you killed yourself. Also, I'm pretty sure you're the reason that everyone in North Korea is on low-grade speed. So, yes. There you go. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what we got going on here. Wade Kennerson. There was no charge for shipping on my coach's jacket purchase, so use this for that or a taco. Thanks for doing what you do for some. Yeah, evidently the one coach's jacket for like the first 4 sold didn't get it didn't save the shipping charges when I put it in. So, oops, some people are getting free shipping. Happy Black Friday! Thanks for the super chat, bud. All right. Kale Mitchell, how do you think moving out west has changed you as a person? Well, I don't get to eat the glorious fatty foods of Western New York. The bread is kind of lame around here, and I haven't had a good pizza on the West Coast since I moved here, by and large. But no, moving west really caused me to just like have to leave my comfort zone numerous times to make things work. It's been really interesting. I've gotten to ride a lot of powder. Like that's something I always loved doing when I lived in New York, but really wanted to ride more power, and I've gotten to do that. It's opened my eyes to you experience a lot of people from a lot of different areas, especially in like Colorado. It's just the way that people move out here is like they're moving from California, the Northwest, the Midwest, and then the East Coast. It's like a central hub. So you meet a lot of characters out here. I think it's definitely expanded my viewpoints on a lot of things. Also, it's made me a little more aggressive towards towards stupidity and horrible drivers. There are so many fucking bad drivers. Like every bad driver in the world just moves here, and they just make it worse. I was down in Denver on Wednesday picking up all the coaches' jacket and hoodies for the sale today. So obviously, if you haven't hopped on Angrysnowboarderstore.com, please do it. Buy some merchandise. That really goes to fund Kevin and I, and I'll buy Ellen Russell a taco or something. But yeah, when I was down in Denver, they hadn't plowed shit. Like the only plow I saw in Denver was tipped over on its side. Good job, CDOT. You had one job and you blew it. So people just didn't know how to drive, and I ended up having to drive across sidewalks and shit just to get around. There was about 2 feet of snow. It's nothing like seeing someone in a $90,000 SUV not able to drive that in the snow. It was so fucking funny. So many like Q5s, Q8s, X3s, X5s, just people down there not knowing how to drive, and they're just like all over the road and sliding. And I was like, yo, like they don't understand how to steer into a turn either. I'm just like, oh my God, and you're just riding your brakes. And it's like, I would start to drift, hit the brakes, not let them lock up, release, steer into it, turn, correct, do what I had to do. And people were just like losing their shit down there. So that definitely changes some stuff. Let's see what we got going on here. Michael Trombator, hey, do the tips on the Capta ASIM get hung up when buttering? I only had it happen once in some really like slushy, just gloppy snow. If anything actually catches, it's actually usually the shorter one right here. You really get up into it and it presses and you're just pushing in off your heels and you notice that. But by and large, that one, I didn't really notice it being super crazy hooky. Okay. James Cathy Havern, have you ridden at Jackson Hole? I rode one day. It was the worst visibility. It had rained and frozen, and then it started snowing on top of it. And the guy I was with decided we should go to take the tram to the top with zero visibility. Do you know what it is like to get down from the top of Jackson with zero visibility? How I did not die, I do not know, but I came close a few times. I need to get back up there and do it, do some time up there. I'd like to spend like a week and just ride that place. Michael Anderson, I've ridden rental boards for the last 2 weeks because I don't want to ruin my new board and rocks. Can't wait anymore. Tomorrow I'm riding the new stuff. Am I an idiot? No, man. Dude, it's a snowboard. They're meant to be ridden and destroyed. If you're not enjoying yourself, what's the point? Like, I've literally taken a board out of a wrapper and course shot it within the first run. Actually, I did that on the Dinosaurs Will Die Power Reaper on the second lap of it at Loveland. It was a 48-inch day. I threw in a deep slash, and all of a sudden, clank, course shot that was we measured it. It was 21 inches long and a half-inch wide. Fuck that board up. But I had fun the rest of the day with it. So, yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what we got going on here. Ninja Bick, what's the best resort to ride at in Colorado? My personal favorite or just the best? I'd say like my personal favorites are Beaver Creek, Steamboat, Powderhorn over on the western side, which is like this tiny little rinky-dink resort, but I've had a fun time. I like Copper. I like A Basin just because I live here, but Aspen also is a really great resort. Like there's some really great resorts, and there's some really shit resorts. Like I hate Winter Park. That resort sucks ass. Keystone's icy as fuck. It's lame as shit. Echo is like, I don't even know why anyone would go there anymore. So, yeah. Jesus Christ, that was a big gust of wind right there. Yeah, so Colorado, it's hit or miss also. It depends when you come. Like some of those resorts I just avoid because they're the worst. Britt Logwood, I think you rode the Wired Vantage at Powder Mountain. Is that mostly low-angle terrain? Seems like a lot of open terrain. How is the tree riding? It's got a mix of everything in there. Alan and I definitely got into some tree riding off the Cat, some like really tight stuff. Got into some wide open low-angle stuff. Got into some open steeper stuff. It really depends on where you go with on that mountain. But I had a blast on that board, that's for sure. So, yeah. Winter Park, just so everyone knows, like Winter Park is like the bastard redheaded stepchild of Colorado resorts. Like it's a destination resort, and then you get there and you're like, what the fuck is there to do here? I want to kill myself. The nearest town, Granby. Everyone should look up Marvin Haymeyer and the Killdozer. Like watch the Killdozer video, which they're actually making a biopic movie about this man for Netflix. But yeah, that's fucking Winter Park right there. Winter Park and Granby. That's Marvin Haymeyer. That's the perfect example of Winter Park. James Styles, I just saw Nico post his new bent metal bindings and a GNU Fun Guy board. Any idea what type of board that is? Assuming it's not a stiff directional like his pro model, but I could be wrong. I honestly haven't even seen either of them today. I just haven't. It's been a really busy day. Maybe Kevin knows more about it, but I figured he was going to end up with a bent metal pro model at some point. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really know much about that. I know it's a late release. I doubt I'll even get a chance to get on anything. I doubt Kevin will. Maybe our rep would, but then again, the last time we talked to our rep about a limited release, he didn't even know that the new Zoid existed. So, oops. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. This is just a good public service announcement from Adam Colwell. If you need a good rock board, steal a skate banana. Not only you don't have to pay for it, you also get to destroy it. Plus, you're going to convince someone that they should buy a board that's not a skate banana. So it's really you're just helping the whole community there. I don't condone board theft. Let's see what we got going. Michael Kulik, hope I didn't miss too much. Had to give a guy a ride down the stairs after he decided to piss in the sink. Sinks double as urinals, man. That's the quarter bathroom in every rental in Colorado. If it tells you it's a 1 1/4 bathroom, it means it's a sink in a hallway that doubles as a urinal. Sorry, the guy was from Colorado. He just didn't know that any better. Let's see. Shardbot, tips for mountain driving. Do you just have any Xanax I can borrow for the trip? Oh, God, no. Don't take a Xanax and drive. Realistically, like, depending where you're going, if you're not a competent driver, like I tell people this all the time, you can fly into DIA, take a shuttle up here to Summit County, and then we actually have a local rental place that has cars with winter tires on it, so you don't have to deal with driving I-70 in the mountain passes. And then you can just have a rental car for zipping around the county, because driving around the county, by and large, is like actually relatively easy and stuff. But the bigger thing is this is just general driving advice. So many people don't know their vehicle at all. Like, so many people don't know the weight of their vehicle. My Volvo weighs 4,443 pounds with nothing else in it. So with me, that's another 200. With two people, that's another 400. With a full stack of snowboards in the back, we're looking at that thing being about 5,000 pounds. 5,000 pounds means that the stopping distance is going to take a little bit longer. I also have a 20-inch rim with a really wide tire, so I've got a wider platform on it. I also have a winter driving mode, so when I engage that, it changes the slip differential and the gear ratio on first and second so that it goes more into a creepier mode, and it locks the car tighter to the ground, in my opinion, just with the way it drives. So many people don't understand how their cars should drive at all. I see it all the time, where I see people that, like, they're coming down a hill and they'll just break the whole hill. I was like, that's how you're going to slide. What you need to do is learn how to downshift. So I have Geartronic, so I'll just flip it over, shift it down from 6th into 5th, 5th into 4th, 4th into 3rd, usually just run it down 3rd when I'm coming down the basin on a snowy day. And I only tap the brakes as I need to, lightly. You know, you don't want to ride them. That's how you're going to get into a skid. And so many people don't understand how to turn in a skid as well, so they just, like, go with it. They're like, and drift. I mean, if more people would just understand the limitations of their vehicle and understand, like, what's the cruising speed, what the weight of the vehicle is, how much distance you actually need to stop it, it would help them so much better. All right. Let's see. What else we got going on here? I feel like we're catching up on questions. Okay. Okay, let's see. What else is going on? I think we're kind of caught up on other questions. What do we got down here? Nito the Potato, you probably saw me drifting a rental Tahoe with Texas plates through Breck because my inner Aussie came up. Yeah, but you probably knew what the fuck you were doing at least. I love drifting corners and shit and freaking people out. I was drifting the roundabout the other day, and people were just losing their shit because I was, like, sideways just going around it and just brought it back and then exited it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Kiel Mitchell, what is the one of the times you've been the most scared on a mountain? Steamboat. I was riding some slack country and there were some idiot skiers that didn't know what the fuck they were doing in an area they shouldn't have been. And the way everything was set, they broke a cornice off on top of me and it started burying me. And where I was pretty much stuck. So I put my arms above my head. By the time the snow had stopped cascading down on me, it was to my armpits. And I ended up having to dig myself out and extricate, and those motherfuckers were just sitting there, and I was like, yo, you guys gonna help me? And they just skied off and just left me there. It took me 45 minutes to dig myself out. I've also gone headfirst into 2 tree wells in my lifetime. That is not fun either. Those are some scary times. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Donald Edwards, I was riding my slush slasher today in about 2.5 feet of powder and hit something and had a 6-inch long, 1-inch thick core shot. The board actually had a lot better float than I expected also. Yeah, go get that. I think the slush slasher actually has an extruded base, so you should be able to fix that relatively quick. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Brett Logwood. Copper has a new lift accessing the Tucker Mountain area. What kind of terrain is available? Is it steep? It's a wide open bowl. You used to have to take a cat up there. I think they're running, I think it's a 3-person chair fixed grip on there. And I'm not sure if that's going to be open weekdays or if it's just going to be weekends like the cat was. But the way it is it's like you go up and you get out and you can go to the right or left and it's a wide open bowl and then the right side funnels you back around and basically you go into some serious low angle shit. Like if you don't have your speed, you're going to fucking stop and be bogged down. And then you're going to end up having to traverse back over to the chairlift back there. Or you could ride the old ass, what is it? I think it's a double. I don't even think it's a single now that I think about it. It's a chairlift I try to avoid because that thing's slow as fuck. So yeah. Let's see what's going on. I think we're caught up. Cena, what board would you take to do some resort riding in Japan? Out of the Kazu, the Libtech Short Wide, and the Warpig. Oh, God. Those are your 3 choices? Oh, fuck. I guess I'd go with the Short Wide or the Warpig. The Kazu, that's just going to be a lot of work with all that camber and pow to keep that tip up. Do you have to take those 3? Fuck. Can you just go over there and like rent a Gentum or a Moss or something and go rip that instead? So yeah. I see Eric Farmer still being a contrarian. Everything I say, he has to say the contrary to. Good for you, bud. Okay. Legendary Steve, when are the Signal snowboard reviews coming? Well, I think Kevin's got the WoW right now, so he'll probably be the one to review that. I actually haven't even emailed him to get anything. I've just been so overwhelmed. I got to email Mark over there and see if we can get some stuff. I would love to get like the full fleet and review that for him, especially with what they've got going on with that subscription service. So, yeah. Okay. Focus on my messages. Yeah, they're not important. Yeah. Jarrell Moore, what do you think of REI opening a store in Utah that doesn't sell snowboards, just skis? Clearly, they're catering to Elta and Deer Valley. Good. Send those pretentious fucks to that store. Who gives a fuck? REI, every time I go in an REI, I'm always just disappointed. I always feel like the people don't know. I feel like Nick Offerman, like when he goes to a hardware store, I'm just like, I know more than you. I just always feel that way when I go to an REI. If they don't want to sell snowboards, it's probably because they don't know how. Fuck them. Okay. Dweezy, will snowboarding ever have a black kid at X Games again, let alone podium? You got Zeb Powell, buddy. He'll probably do the real street contest at some point, and that kid will probably podium, or he'll do the knuckle contest. So, yeah, you got to keep your eye on good old Zebulon. Let's see. Dan Rao, thoughts on vintage boards, prices, rideability? I think they're overinflated prices. I think there's too many people hung up on nostalgia that just want to be like, it was better when. It wasn't better when. These boards are not as good as the shit coming out now. I don't participate in that whole vintage thing. I don't like it. Like, if I want a vintage board, it's because it's something on the graphic or something. It's just a wall mount. That's it. I'm not showing it off to anyone. It's like, it's for me. It's a personal thing. It just sits on the wall. Like, I'm going to actually mount my interior plane project Honolulu Bloodlines with the Bloodlines graphic up on the wall because I just love the fact that that board just says Bloodlines. And yeah, so there you go. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Okay, Ninja Big, how come you don't do any on snow reviews of your boards? Do you know how much time that would take? One, time. You got to realize I just quit. I just quit having a 40-hour-a-week job. So, and you got to realize last year was my first year having a car in 15 years. So I used to have to take a bus with shit. It was not fun. Like busing an hour and a half, hour 15 to Copper, not fun. Busing 45 minutes to the basin, not fun, especially when you're carrying 2 snowboards and a bunch of shit. But the big thing is, one, I ride alone a lot. Kevin rides alone a lot. Actually, Kevin and I probably only ride together 3 days of the year. We've already done 2, which means we got 1 more day and then we're done riding together. So it's that. I do not like riding with a go pole in my hand. I do not. It's not my thing. I know how much time it is. Plus, it's Colorado. One cold day, those batteries are fucking dead. So you're out there like slapping toe warmers and hand warmers in a bag with all the batteries to keep them for 15 minutes. It's just not something I want to do. I don't believe that I have to at this point because I've been around so long and I can break it down for most people. But what I do have in the works is my boy Brucey and I want to put together like a powder edit with the 2 of us because like when we ride together, we break shit. I mean, literally, like I can convince Bruce to like send a mogul into a tree run and just land on trees and break them. And then I go and jib the tree and shit. And I talked about this in the last podcast or last live stream. But kind of the goal is like I want to do a video actually where I go out and show you guys what like a test run actually looks like when I'm testing boards, like what a day would look like. Just go out and show you like how I literally will side slip a face of a run for like 300 feet just to see what the board will do, see what weird chatter points and shit like that, show you how it like carves, whatnot, like and do that. Plus, we'll also be doing the meet and greets at some point, so you guys can all just come out and ride with me, and then you'll actually see that I can ride. I'll play tour guide up at the basin. I'll play tour guide at Copper. I'm going to try to do something at Powder Mountain in Utah as well. So Alan will play powder guide for that if his knee is good and he stops spraining it. But yeah, it's one of those things like a lot of it's been time. The other thing is this laptop that it's on right now can barely handle 1080p videos for editing. Like this thing's on its last legs. It's why we're pushing. That's why we're having the Black Friday merchandise sale, 3 live streams today. That's why you had top 5s all week, just to try to generate more people clicking affiliate links and stuff and help all you out pick a better board. But all that money is going back in to get a new computer, and like the desktop can't even handle 4K, can handle 2K video, and that's about it. So I have to compress everything down and stuff. So filming in 4K, filming in a higher resolution, shit like that. Like last time I uploaded, when we did the Kevin Carve Hit videos, I haven't even, this computer's never loud, the desktop, that thing sounded like a goddamn jet motor about to just take up. It sounded like the not the original Xbox, but the 360 when the red ring of death would hit and it would just be like, and the fans would kick in and it would overheat. That's what it sounded like, which was really sketchy. I didn't even know it could do that, but it did it. And I was like, oh my God, this thing can't handle it. So a lot of that is that the goal in the long term is to be able to hire like a slight film crew to do editing and filming and stuff, and then that way we could just be like, oh yeah, here's your just take it and whatnot. But I mean, the other thing is you got to think that is a lot of footage when you contemplate that we rode 127 boards this year. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay. Dean Hinton. Oh, yes. Show me your copper testing run. I will. It's all stuff you can see from the base area. You're not getting the goods. I don't blow out my goods. Not like TJ and Kevin over at Snowboard Pro Camp blowing out how to get to all the good stashes and shit and then causing all clusterfuck of shit. So, yeah. Okay. Chu Chang. What is the optimal waist width range for a all-mountain freestyle snowboard for someone that has a smaller than average foot but is a little overweight? I weigh 175 pounds, but I wear a size 7 boot. Okay, well, I mean, you're pretty much, like, if you're a competent rider, you shouldn't have a problem with anything that's like 25 at the waist there. But I mean, ideally, like, you probably want something that's like a 24.5 realistically. Oh, Adolf Hitler's back, everyone. Be scared. Be scared. He's probably in here because my name's Averin and it sounds Jewish. Okay. Let's see what we got on. All right. Xander Castro, with the Dew Tour going to Copper in February, are you glad that it's no longer in Breck? I'm glad for the town of Breckenridge because that's not really a big revenue maker for us. It doesn't draw the people that they claim. We lose so much parking. It becomes such a clusterfuck. I think last year was the big example of just how bad it was. We like had so much snow. We lost so much parking to it. And it was just making the town gridlock. Copper actually has a better venue for it because they can put the slopestyle course next to the half pipe right there in the base area, and that'll centralize everyone to Center Village. So you show up in the morning. Like for me, what I'll do is I'll probably just go and park over at the West Village or the East Village in the parking and go up and just avoid Center because Center will be a clusterfuck and I can get around the rest of the mountain and it'll just keep everyone so centralized. Like Copper's realistically set up for it better. It'll be fun. Plus they have more lodging like right there in the base. Okay. Kale Mitchell, what is some of the differences you felt from the shred culture from all the places you've lived? Example, New York, Washington, Breck. So New York was about like 9 years behind on every trend. And everyone wants you to fail miserably in New York, and no one wants you to succeed, and they all try to shit on you, and they all have like this little microscopic view. Washington, the people were fucking weird as shit. That was the one thing. Like they don't like people from outside the area, but the terrain was better. I did find some really cool people that were like-minded, but I didn't. There's just they're like city people, which is weird. That just go to the mountains. They're not like mountain people. Breck actually is. It's funny because like the longer you live here, you see like the cultural renaissance of stuff. So it's like sometimes it's cool to live in Breck, sometimes it's uncool, sometimes it's cool, you know. And so it's like the ebb and flow. But the longer I live here, you see the people that have moved here that like make snowboarding their life and it's their real thing. And you see the people that move here because they wanted to snowboard and then they just party all the time and do shitty laxative cocaine and shit themselves. And you ever seen a fat cokehead? There's a lot of them in Breckenridge. It's fucking weird. And you see that type of stuff. But what's cool out here is like what I really like, and we're seeing like a resurgence at Copper of all places because I don't ride Breck. But it used to be back in the day, you'd like roll into Park Lane and you knew everyone and everyone knew you and everyone's just stoked on whatever you're doing. Copper's becoming a lot like that lately in the last 2-3 years where you roll in and you know all the heavy hitters. Like you can roll in and see Torstein and say what's up to him. And then you can see guys like Murph Carriola, Alex Martin, Tom Higgins and shit like that, like local guys just crushing it in there as well. And it's really cool like that. I think the people that get it understand. I mean, it's harder to live here, but we all get it and hang out. Like today I was just walking through the grocery store and ran into my boy Phil that works at Underground. And he's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, not much, just talking to him. And he's like, this is my mom. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And, you know, shit like that. Like you run into each other. Or you see a lot of that in Breck. Like when I lived in Washington, for having a lot of snowboard bums out in Leavenworth, you'd see them at the grocery store and they wouldn't make eye contact to you, and they'd only talk to you at the bar after they've been really drunk. But like out here, people know you. Like they come in and be like, "Oh, hey, Averin, I was riding today, thought of you, and blah blah blah," and just stopping by to say what's up. Like not even like they were coming into the liquor store to see me. So it's a little bit different. Every little place has it. Plus, also, I think the biggest thing in Colorado is how tight our rep group is. Like all of our reps are pretty much friends, and they all know each other, and they all kind of work together. And it's like super funny just to when they all get together and you can see like there's not like animosity and be like, "Oh, fuck your brand." It's more like, "Hey man, can I ride something to see how it compares to ours?" And they're like, "Yeah, can I ride this?" And like they actually have events, like rep only events and industry personnel where they just get together and have barbecues and shred together, which is awesome. Never had that in New York, and I did not see that at all in Washington. All right, what else we got going on here? Paul Falconbridge, yes, it must be story time. 5:30 in the morning here in Cornwall. Surely time for a story. Man, everyone just wants stories with Averin. I don't get what's so great about stories with Averin. They're not that good. I did almost kill a ski racer this week, which was really funny. Actually, yesterday with Bruce, we were hitting this monster side hit. And for some reason, because Copper has all the ski racers training there off the Super B lift, when they're not in their lane, they're on the rest of the mountain fucking trying to train, which they're fucking Goombas. And this dumb kid was just standing in the way, and I just fucking laid into him. I was just like, get the fuck out of the way. No one cares that you ski race. Like, you're on a fucking flat piece of terrain, hogging the trail, trying to do swooping turns on a fucking holiday. Like, shouldn't you go be thankful for something, like maybe that your parents can afford to put you into a sport that's like NASCAR? Like, get the fuck out of the way. I want to hit this goddamn side hit. Okay. All right, let's see. Dan Dimes, how come snowboard companies don't publish the boot footprints? You talking the length of the footprint? Or like the actual mold of the footprint? I mean, I think a lot of it's just marketing. Like, so many people, you give people too many numbers and they get fucking hung up on shit. That's part of it. Okay. Jarrell Moore, what's the worst brand that isn't anchored on a gimmick technology, i.e. not Gilson or some Kickstarter BS? A brand that is actually trying but just getting it wrong. Oh, Tech9 right now is fucking blowing it. Like, ever since they got sold, it's like just bargain basement shit. Not like Tech9 was a great brand, but for a while there when they were running them out of Boulder, and Trent Bush and Derek were working that for the brand base, they really were trying, and they like Trent has history in snowboarding, and he was really doing some good stuff. And they're fucking blowing. Another one is Nightmare out of Colorado. Like, I like the riders and I'll support the riders, but the fucking owner Joe is he's a goddamn nightmare to work. The guy is like the most bipolar fucking artist, just ripping off other people's graphics and passing it off as his own. Fucking con artist. Like, dude, you read the reviews, like, I bought this board online and it never shipped and shit. Like, dude, they didn't pay their fucking factory. He's held back his riders more than anything. Like, fuck that brand. Not the riders. The riders are good people. Like, don't get me wrong. The riders at Nightmare are good people, but fuck Nightmare. Joe's a fucking kook. So, all right. Yeah, you're getting banned. Boom. All right. Okay, what else we got going on here? Nito the Potato, the retro neon logo on the next run of coaches' jackets would look mint. Actually, we're looking at something else with that logo. Can't really say much about it, but 80s back patches, jackets, something like that. That's right now. I'm trying to source everything. Like, that's the big thing. Like, I made one run of stuff for you guys that I wasn't totally happy with, and so I went back and revised everything. And so definitely trying to get that better. Like, I want to keep doing this limited run stuff, but I want it to be solid stuff. Max Schwengler, you need to test Karua shapes this year. Yes, I do. And if you can help make that happen, you should do that. All right. All right. Looks million Pegasus. Averin, you know why I'm here and you know what I'm going to ask. Do I? What are you going to ask? It's a questionable thing. Where the fuck is it? I want the rest of this follow-up. Where is it? Give me the question. Give me the question. Chu Chang, isn't Burton Forum the parent company to Tech 9? No, it's owned by 540 Snow, which is like Snow Jam and a bunch of other shit. Some French dude that's just fucking destroying it. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Jonas Beaudry. Breck has been marking off side hits and saying no jumping. Super triggering. You know what that means? Jump over the sign. And then when they try to stop you, always race to the base area and make sure you walk off the property. Because if Breckenridge, if any of their mountain safety rent-a-cops try to stop you for anything, depending where you're at, book it to the base area, get off the property, walk to the street. By the time they would call the cops to it, you're gone. You could go down, change your outerwear, do whatever. But dude, fucking don't ever get stopped by their mountain safety. So fuck it. Yeah. Okay. Paul Falconbridge with the $20 super chat. About time I paid my dues. Thanks for being you, Avery. Well, thanks for the support, Paul. I really appreciate it. Looks Million Pegasus. The goddamn jackets, Avery. I need an ETA before I keep buying other shit I don't need. The jackets have been up for 6+ hours. They're probably sold out now at this point. Like, I don't even know what's left. But I think we sold most of them, if not all of them already. So if you didn't jump on Angrysnowboarderstore.com, you blew it because I'm not even sure what's left. Yeah, the maroon one is completely sold out. The black one, it looks like there's a medium and an XL left in the black and red one. So you better jump on it if you really want that stuff because they're fucking, I think we sold more than like 3/4 of them in the first 20 minutes that it was live. Okay. All right. Foreign Ride. You don't like Never Summer, but what do you think about Academy? I need to hit up Chad and pick up everything from him. He and I talked about it. He's supposed to give me a master's, a graduate, a propaganda, a team, and I think there's one other. I think there's like 5 boards in there, but he said I could take like the whole fleet and go test it. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I like the fact that they're not doing 5 layers of fiberglass like Never Summer, and they actually have camber. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see what's going on. I feel like I'm missing some stuff. Oh, Ninja Bick, what's your gym routine? It's a lot of medium weight, high repetition. Everything's slowed down. Actually, I was at the gym today. I always start off by trying to bike like a couple miles before I get everything going. Just doesn't even get the heart rate up. I just bike, and that just loosens everything up before I get into it. But it's a lot of stretching exercises, like using lacrosse balls on my back and stuff underneath when I'm stretching, just to try to get a deeper stretch, as well as just slow moving, low to medium weight repetitions. Really get in there, and I have like leg days. I have upper body days. Today was like shoulders and back, just to keep them intact, so when I fall on them, they don't dislocate anymore, or I don't slip a disc in my back. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. Jonas Beaudry, favorite Vail Mountain. Beaver Creek, hands down, every time. Love that place. Tree riding is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that there's a groomer a cat train just grooming 24 hours a day. You get free cookies at 3:20, and there's the champagne toast after that if you didn't know that. So for anyone going to Beaver Creek, after you get the free cookies, if you go over to the Chop House, they do a free champagne toast every day too. Okay, what else is going on? Feel like we're kind of caught up on questions there. Okay. Fizzled. Stretching is key. Yoga. I do like 15 minutes of stretching every morning before I go ride. Just a lot of stuff to loosen up the hamstrings, the IT bands. I also have a foam roller. I have an inversion table. My back has been really good, so I haven't had to use that much. So, yeah. Jesus, that was an aggressive gust of wind. Let's see. Cameron Homrest. Did the M3 brand die? It's still alive in some capacity. It's price point garbage. I think Chaz Guldaman is still riding for him. I'm not sure. They're making boards with the Rockstar logo on it. They're fucking garbage. Yeah, let's see. Chip Shop Chris, who would win in a fight between a badger or a baboon? Oh, baboon. Oh, my God. The strength in the baboon. It doesn't matter if that badger fucking flipped out and bit it. He'd grab its jaw and just King Kong that motherfucker and rip it in half. No. Oh, don't fuck with a baboon. Dan Rao, my snowboard friend told me he rode moguls when he rides moguls when he goes to the mountain. Would it be inappropriate to buy him a pair of skis for Christmas? No, I think I'll give it the hint. Ugh, moguls are fucking garbage. Okay, what else we got going on here? All right, let's see. Sure, but do you know of other snake run carving parks like that one in Washington? It's actually Oregon. It's Bachelor. So Bachelor's down in Oregon, and that's you're talking about the Jerry Lopez Big Wave Challenge that they do up there. There's a few. Was it Hakuba one or Hapo one banks over in Japan? Does that? Copper is getting a Peace Park, and they're going to do more snow features in it as well. And I think Killington's getting a snow park. Mammoth might as well. They're trying to do more Peace Parks around the U.S., and they're going to do snow features. I was talking to my boy Mikey Bittler, who's the head of park crew at Copper, and he's helping design the Peace Parks for other places. Like Copper's going to be the flagship, and then they're going to move it out to other ones. But, yeah, I think there's that. Usually, if you check the spring, there's something going on. Grand Targhee did something last year, too, like that, and it was open to the public. It was like a contest, and then the day after, I think they opened. It was like contest on Saturday and then open to the public on Sunday. Also, you should follow Snowboy Productions on Instagram if you don't already, and see where they're doing the Holy Bully, because after the 4 or 5 days of shooting the Holy Bully, they open it up for one day to the public as well. Whew. It's going to be a loud night. All right. I think we're caught up there. Okay. Did Dimes, how come no t-shirts on your store? Because this drop was hoodies and coaches jackets. We do limited runs on stuff. The last time I did a monster drop, I ended up only making $142 in profit, which broke down after the hours that I worked to making about $3.25 an hour. Really wasn't worth it. So I'm not doing big drops with multiple t-shirts anymore. I've got to sit down when I get some time, watch a couple videos on like this dropship printing thing, and I'm going to probably put some stuff in the store where you can just, there'll be like basic logos you can just order and they're there and they'll make them to suit. But I'm going to keep up with this limited run stuff because it seems to sell out a lot faster. Yeah. Brian Cold, it's board bag. Should I get it? Really just do a couple day trips per week. No, I don't think you need a board bag unless you're like really flying anywhere. Like I have one. I use my board bag more for product review season than I do for travel because I can just throw the boards and stack them up in the bag. Then they're not sliding around the back of the car. Yeah. Let's see. Ninja Bick, you rock an insulated jacket or rock a shell with layers? I rock an insulated jacket with layers. I don't have a spleen, so my body heat regulation is completely fucked. So I'll ride a puffy with like 3 layers if I need to and still be cold. Also, I think it's like a 200 gram or 180 gram filled jacket. It's like filled on the chest. The sleeves aren't super insulated, but yeah, I rock that with some under layers on there as well. Okay. Brett Logwood, could you do some kind of pre-order for shirts so you can just make them after they've been ordered? I could. I don't want to. It's work. I got too much shit on my plate as is. Yeah. There you go. Sharpbot, dude, you're a wealth of information. Thanks for fielding all my idiot questions. Your questions haven't been too bad. There have been some dumb questions I've been asked lately. Like, actually, let me see. Oh, no, I can't find that one. But I had a guy go off on me about the DC Media Blitz today and tell me that I need to only concentrate on the positives and only talk about the positives because the board wasn't that bad for him, even though he hadn't owned a snowboard or snowboarded in 15 years. And he bought it for very cheap. And I was like, yeah, of course you're going to say it's good because you fucking paid jack shit for it and you went snowboarding. You have no frame of reference on anything. To me, it was a fucking turd. And I was like, I'd rather concentrate on what stands out as not being good than being like, oh, this whole thing's good and I'm just going to suck its dick and tell you it's great. I think he needs to go watch the Good Ride because clearly that's the only place that would give him what he wants. Okay, so the spleen story. Everyone kind of wants to know about this, and I think about every live stream I have to bring this up. So February 25th, 2002, at 2:50 p.m., I ruptured my spleen. Not just ruptured, but I literally ripped it in half end to end. Your spleen is about the size of the palm of your hand. Mine was the size of a football. It was so full of blood. 2 weeks prior to February 25th, 245 Snowboard Shop had held a border cross contest. As I think they did a half pipe jam too that day. But we would just do this stuff because it was always fun to hang out with Jay and the guys that ran 245 at the time. And so I was racing border cross. I ended up getting washed out on a turn, like someone took me out and slid out. So I went and rode half pipe, and I hit some oververt, and it kicked me upside down, and I knew I was going to land on my head. So I flipped around, and I was twisted. I came down, and I pinched my spleen open and got what I think they call it like a pericardial tear. And so I didn't really have any signs of internal bleeding, no pissing blood or anything, but I was in solid pain. So we thought like I'd torn my diaphragm at one point or that I had fractured a rib or some shit. So I went into the doctor, and he basically said he's like pushing on everything, and I like the pain was masking on the other side of my body, not on my right side. And he told me, he's like, when you feel good, go snowboard. So anyways, I 2 weeks later, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go shred. I'm feeling pretty good. So I was riding all day and feeling pretty fucking good. And I tacoed a rail, nothing, didn't do shit on that rail, like full blown tacoed it, didn't hurt me. Last run of the day before I was actually gonna go get Marcus, I was gonna go pick him up after he got out of school that day. I ended up hooking a toe edge, slammed, and it ripped my spleen from end to end. And instantly I knew I was fucked. Like I'd never felt pain like that. And I went to stand up, and I lost so much blood that the right side of my body basically like microstroke. I went blind in my right eye and lost all strength in my right side of my body, my arm, my leg, and I just toppled over and blacked out. And I started dry heaving and shit. Also, I'm going to apologize now. I'm going to eat a wafer because I need some sugar. But yeah, so I knew I had to get help. I was at Holiday Valley. So I got enough strength to get up and try to ride to the base area. I proudly made it a couple hundred feet, tumbled, blacked out. Came to, was close to the base area, got there and basically blacked out and slid into the base area right next to the Cindy's chairlift and passed out. And I laid there. I don't know how long I laid there, but I was like gagging and stuff, and no one checked on me at all in that time. And finally, this kid was walking by, and I was like face down. Like, I guess I was heaving a little. And he thought I didn't look right. So he rolled me over, and I had turned blue almost. So he yelled at the lifty to call patrol and shit. And so they called Carl down, Carl Kohler, my friend Laura's dad. And he comes down. He's like, Averin? And I was like, Carl, I fucked up. And he's like, oh, shit. So he starts taking vitals, and he's like, we got to call an ambulance. And I was like, dude, I can't afford an ambulance. Like, just get me to my car, and I can drive to the hospital. No, they're arguing with me, backboard, everything. They pull me into the base area. And, I'm going past the rental shop where I worked, and all the guys are like, Averin. And I was like, just take my shit. Like, take my boots, take this. And at this point, the ambulance crew shows up, and I know the woman because and I like know one of the women, just small town and shit. And I remember the last thing I said to him, do not hit the pothole at the end of the driveway. Because this pothole, I mean, this thing was like as wide as a V-dub bug and probably about a foot deep. I was like, do not hit the pothole. And I'm saying, don't hit the pothole. They hit the pothole. It jarred me so hard, I blacked out. I woke up on the side of 353. They'd pulled me out of the ambulance, and the advanced life support fly car was there. And I looked over, and there's an IV in my right arm, and I look over, and there's an IV in my left arm, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, you're getting a helicopter ride, son. And I was like, I can't fucking afford this shit. Get me to my car. And I'm like trying to fight him, black out. Wake up. They're pulling me back out of the back of the ambulance. I'm on the golf course at Holiday Valley by the wall, and there's a helicopter. And Flight for Life loads you under the tail of the helicopter, which is really weird. So there's these two doors that open up, and you go right in under the exhaust. So I smell the exhaust. They get me in, and so I go in, and they load me up. And also, I see people are asking if there's people walking by. Weekdays at Holiday Valley, like non-peak season, there's maybe 10 people on the mountain. Like night riding is like the big thing. Like after 3:00, that place pops off. But day shift, there isn't shit going on. So anyway, so they load me in the helicopter, blackout, come to, I'm in the air. I was like, where are we going? They're like, ECMC, son, you almost died. Supposedly they restarted my heart. I don't know if that's true or not, but I got defibbed in the helicopter, which I don't think they can actually do, but so yeah. So anyways, do that. Land on the roof of ECMC. It's like a scene out of the TV show ER. They come out. They're pulling me in. I'm going through the hallway. It's like door. They're cutting my clothes off, shit like this. They're slapping IVs into me. I'm awake, and they're like, it's a med school, student school. So Dr. Seibel, who's the head of trauma surgery, comes in. He's pushing on me. He's like, this is going to hurt. And I'm like, ugh. And then this fucking Frank Poncherello-looking Eric Estrada motherfucker comes in with really bad Eric Estrada hair from like the 70s. Tall motherfucker. Sausage fingers, too. Comes in, and he pushes on my stomach so hard, I popped off the table and hit him in the side of the head. Patient is combative. Strap my ass down. That's not fun. So I'm strapped down. Hey, we need you to swallow while we put this tube down your nose. Nasal gastric tube into my stomach, going down. They're putting that in on that end. Well, meanwhile, one of them's got my dick, and they're shoving a goddamn catheter in it, which they didn't put the catheter in right way, and it ended up almost getting infected, which is awesome. So they're doing all that, and then meanwhile, they're like, we got to check for internal bleeding. Roll me over my side, and Sausage Fingers McGee over there, that Frank Poncherello motherfucker, swear to God, his one finger was as wide as two of mine, shoves his finger up my ass to see if I'm bleeding. So I'm like, yeah, blackout. Wake up. Hey, we're gonna knock you out. Start counting back from 100. You gotta have emergency trauma surgery. Okay, fine. They're like, most people pass out by about like 95. I made it to 87 before I blacked out. At this point, blackout. I guess they tried to induce me into a coma for the surgery. Now, a normal splenectomy surgery is 40 minutes. I think mine was like 9.5 hours. So they gutted me from the bottom of my sternum to my waist, pulled me open, and had to hand clean everything because when I ruptured my spleen, because it was the size of a football, it was so full of there was so much. Let's see. Well, watch this. I'm going to help you guys out. We're just going to get rid of this motherfucker. Okay, and that guy's gone. Yeah. So, anyways, so what happened was, they induced me to do whatever. 9 hour surgery. They're hand cleaning everything. I wake up in the ICU in a neck brace because for some reason they thought I broke my neck. So I've got like this neck brace, and my brother's over there putting stickers on me, and he shaved my thigh. Fucking brother shaved my goddamn thigh while I was in the ICU. You know how itchy that shit is? Fucking itchy as shit. So I wake up, and my first words were, I want a Gatorade, and then I tried to get up, and I couldn't get up out of the bed, and my stomach is super swollen and shit. I had 49 staples in there, and it was just fucking so full of air because they had me gutted open and whatnot. And I ended up spending... what was it? I spent 9 days in the hospital, 8 days in the ICU. And basically what they told me was because my spleen had clotted from the first injury and full of so much like septic blood that I should have died. And the surgeon that I had, Dr. Seibel, said in 27 years, I was the worst that he'd ever seen, but I was so young and I was in such good shape. He knew I could keep me alive, but they ended up putting, 16 units of blood into me, which normally like they stop after 3, so they put 16 into me. And I think I had like 30 something units of saline pumped through me at the same time. Yeah, so should have died on there. And evidently, I guess they had to restart my heart while I was on the table. That's what I was told. I don't know. They told me I'd never walk again, and that was Sausage Fingers McGee over there. Fucking at about 1 a.m. came into my room because he was doing his rounds. Yeah, that guy's a fucking dick. He was pissed I hit him in the head. And he tried to tell me that I'd never snowboard again and never walk again. And then I was on a morphine drip. I hallucinated and pulled the nasal gastric tube out. That motherfucker held me down by my throat and shoved it back in and broke my sinus cavity. Also, while I was in the hospital, 3 people died next to me. So there was someone in the ICU that dropped dead. Guy across the hallway from me dropped dead the first night I was out of the ICU, and then someone coming to visit someone when I was out of the ICU dropped dead right in front of my door. Not a good time when you're 19 years old. So yeah. Anyways, that's how I lost my spleen and got a finger in my butt. Okay, what do we got here? Beeswax. Can't decide between Super Pig, Jones Mountain, Twin, or Algorithm. Coming off Machete. Want for all mountain charge and carve. Go with the Jones Mountain Twin out of those 3. That'll be the most versatile. It'll also be stiffer than the Algorithm, so you will be able to go out and drive with that. Super Pig will be a little more directional, I think, than what you want. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, Fizzled. After your heart stopped, did you see the light? Yes, I know what the light is. You want to know what the light is? I'll explain this to everyone because no one has. So your last sense that you have before you die is your vision. It's before it detaches. So the cones in your eyes start to narrow and elongate. They're trying to let in as much light as they can. So everything goes black and white. And it turns into like this long looking tunnel. That's where the light at the end of the tunnel comes from. It's your eyes trying to stay operational at the very last minute before you die. So I've seen it and I know what it is. And I know that that's just death. Like that's going to be the last fucking thing I see before I die. Okay. Well, let's see what else we got going on here. Chu Chang, since DC is also made at the mothership, which Capita board would be comparable to the DC ply? Is it the indoor survival or outer space living? What is it? I think it's the outer space living because that's the one with camber. I think the indoor survival is the flat rock, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So you guys got some serious story time with Uncle Averin right now. Yeah, so you got to hear about how I got my butthole fingered. It wasn't even by a hot chick. It's by a goddamn Frank Poncherello looking chips motherfucker. Yeah, so. All right. So by the way, I was told I'd never snowboard again. Yeah. And they told me I'd probably never walk because for some reason they thought I broke my back. I had to get all these x-rays while I was in there. I walked out of that hospital and got in the car and flipped it off. Then promptly passed out in the car on the way home. Paul Falconbridge, you liked it, didn't you? So, what? Okay. Well, something's going on over there. All right. Water bottle. Wasn't there a girlfriend who tried to get you to quit snowboarding after the fingering of the ball? Yeah, that was Andrea. I got conned into going to college because the insurance company never sent the paperwork after I graduated high school to drop me from the plan to my parents. This is before Obamacare. You kids have no clue how good you have it these days. So I had to go to college. Basically, they worked a deal. If I went to college and pulled above a 3.0, they'd pay the medical bills, which the helicopter ride I think was like $8,000 alone. The ambulance I think was like $1,000. The advanced life support car was somewhere close to $500, and then the hospital bill, the surgery, and everything I think was closer to like 50 G's, and they paid everything. But because I pulled a 3.25 my first semester and promptly failed out of college with a 0.0 after that. But I met this chick, Andrea, and Andrea, not Andrea, Andrea. And Christmas was coming up, and she was like asking some of my friends at college, like, well, what do you think I should get Averin? And they're like, well, he snowboards. You could always get him snowboard. I'm going to get him to quit. I'm going to make him choose me over snowboarding. Clearly that went far. I think she ended up doing porn after that. Oh, well. Billy Kennedy, here's what I spend my money on. Endeavor Maverick, Endeavor Archetype, Nidecker Donut. Did I do good? Well, 2 out of 3 aren't bad. I do not like the donut. That thing is just too fucking stiff. I mean, if that's what you want, go for it. There's also a lot of overlap with the Maverick and the Archetype. The Archetype is just the swallow-tailed version of the Maverick, by and large. Adam Colwell, do you think that Burton will release a Jake-dedicated board next season? Could be a thing to hang on the wall. There's not a doubt in my mind that in the Mine 77 line, there'll be something dedicated to Jake, as well as there'll be some homage graphics, probably like a late release or something. Okay. Ninja Bick, what's your favorite board from Niche? Maelstrom, hands down. So, yeah, the Maelstrom, hands down, is super, super solid. Also, for all you guys that are talking about like pearly gates and higher beams and shit, I don't believe in that shit. I've seen death. I've stared death in the face. That's not the first time I've almost died either. Or I shouldn't say that's not the only time. 6 months after that accident, I got in a car with a chick that we grew up together. She's a little younger than me, and she was just giving me a ride home from some friends. We were going like 2.5, 3 miles max. And I get in, and I was like, oh, yeah, you got your license, blah, blah. She was in her mom's minivan, and because I was like 19, I think she was like 16 or 17. Like we literally grew up together. And she said to me, she's like, you might want to buckle up. It took me 3 tries to pass my driving exam. We were less than a quarter mile from the house we were living, and we hit a tree at 80 miles an hour head on. This is 6 months after I'd had the surgery. I wasn't supposed to take an impact like that. It should have killed me. I walked away from that one. Okay. Nato the Potato, do you have a review on the Ride Helix from a year or 2 ago, the one with the pink base? I think so. It really hasn't changed. There's a few reviews of the Helix. If it's not on YouTube, it's definitely on Angrysnowboarder.com. So, yeah. Mark T, ever ride Solitude? I did last year with superfan Alan Russell. We went up there, ripped it around for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I got in the car and drove back to Colorado. Solitude is fun. I'd really like to spend a little more time up there, like a solid day or two, kind of really get around and explore and see what's going on where. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Oh, God. Are people getting political? Because if you start getting political, I'll fucking boot your ass. Okay. Let's see. I think we're caught up on those questions. Henry Davis, are you planning on doing another super hard giveaway? I think actually the next round of giveaways, I'm just going to do a road trip and randomly like just be like live streaming on Instagram and be like, there's a package somewhere, and just whip it out the window of the car and just keep on going and be like, good luck. It's probably somewhere between mile marker 286 and 298. And just see how many people are like driving around trying to find this package that's in there. Dweezy, do you think the Rider's Choice was overhyped? Yes. It's an okay board. It's not a mind-blowing board. So, yeah. All right. Okay. What do we got here? Ninja Bick. So my beginner buddy who is trying to switch from full rocker likes niche top sheets. Should he do the Jones Frontier, the niche Maelstrom, or niche Fire? He's a beginner, dude. Just shove him on the Frontier. He's fine. I mean, I get that he likes the graphics, but you need to put him on something. Chuck Van, as in ninja suit, Alan Russell. Hey, that's a tandem ninja suit, Alan Russell. He's going to make a tandem ninja suit so that he and Kevin can wear it together. But yeah, yes, it was that Alan Russell. Okay, Adam Cowell, is my magic carpet going to be enough for Hokkaido, or do I have to get something crazy directional like the Surfer or Spring Break? Really not a fan of POW-only boards. No, I think you'll be fine if you're so used to riding a powder twin like the magic carpet. The only thing that you might, like if it gets really deep and you're struggling and like in some lower angle shit, you might want to just set your stance back and not ride a true twin. That would be it. Billy Kennedy, is option snowboard still a thing? Sure, if you mean wired snowboards and Endeavor exist, yes. Option's deader than a doornail, but the closest thing you can get to that would be wired snowboards out of Vancouver. Rob Dow worked at Option for years. He's making some really great boards up there, and check it out. I mean, they made it on a few top 5 lists. Okay, Miguel, what's your opinion on the Intuition liners? If you're talking about the aftermarket Intuitions, you want to make sure that you get one that will work with your boot. Sometimes they don't have that internal harness for them, but Intuition makes the best liners in the world, in my opinion, especially when you heat mold them and get them going where you want and just fitting in the boot the way you need it to be. All right, what else we got going on here? And I feel like it's the same people just throwing the same questions out. Oh, here we go. Nash Thalberg. Red Super Pig or Tellus Backslash? 158 centimeters, 200 pounds. Okay, so I'm going to throw this up here. So Super Pig, if you're looking for something a little more, how do I want to put this? Because they're both great boards. Something a little more versatile than the Backslash. Like the Backslash is versatile, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Super Pig has just a little more drive. It's just with that camber profile in there. Once again, both great boards. Honestly, I'd probably just go with whichever one you could get a better deal with. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I think we're kind of caught up on those questions up high. Let's see what we got going on down here. Traveling Rabbit, have you seen anyone ride blank snowboard? Yes. His name is Shelton, and he's a fucking tool. Literally, his name is Shelton. He lived with my old roommate, Dylan, for a while. This kid actually takes helmets and gets them airbrushed with the Red Bull logo and tells people he's a Red Bull athlete. He can't spin above a 540, and he competes in USASA events. And he used to talk down to my roommate, Dylan, being like, yeah, I got an invite to do tour, but I'm going to pass on it. Dylan got an invite to do tour, and he shows up one day with his do tour bibs, and Shelton's like, you were invited? And he's like, oh yeah, I only compete in like 3, 4, and 5-star TTR events and shit. I'm trying to go to the Olympics. And Shelton was like, can hardly spin like a 5, but was claiming it. Like, that's the only person I've ever seen ride a blank snowboard. So yeah. All right. Chu-Chang, Averin, have you ever tried Pryor snowboards out of Vancouver? Pryor is not out of, unless they moved, but they used to be out of Squamish and Whistler. I haven't. They're like a harder one for me to work with. Like, I don't know who to talk to, and the few people I've talked to, they just don't seem interested. They're like, we know our market. I'm like, oh, all right, fine, good for you. Okay, what else we got going on? What about all? Know anything about Why Me Snowboard? Seen a few around the Smokin' Factory. Met the owner. Don't know anything about them though. I wouldn't call them a brand. They buy samples and then they sell the samples, and they've moved factories like 4 times. I got one of the worst finished boards I've ever seen from them one time. It looked like it was finished with a cheese grater. I know Jeff, the owner. We're friends, but it's not a real brand. It's a hobby. That's the best way to describe it. It's not a brand. It's a hobby for them. Okay. Miguel, and what about the Vibram Solds? Do they wear too fast? It's hit or miss on those. I've had ones that I've blown through in 100 days, and I've got ones that have made it 200 days on some boots before I retired the boots. It depends on how much you're walking, what you're walking on, if you drag your feet when you're walking and stuff. Like, a lot of people in snowboard boots tend to drag their feet a little bit, and I don't think they realize it, especially on the heel. They're just not lifting high enough. They're not used to it, so it just kind of just drags along. Henry Davis, have you ever tried Tribe snowboards? No, and I've never tried meth, and that's kind of how I feel about Tribe snowboards. They're shit. I literally went to a trade show one time, and the guys were cutting the flashing off in the parking lot. The boards had the roughest finish I've ever seen. They were, well, I wouldn't even say it was a finish. It wasn't. They weren't finished. They were furry. Like, the boards had fur and epoxy and fiberglass sticking out of them. It's they were just janky as fuck. Mike asks, what was your best skier cut? If I told you, that would be incriminating evidence. I'm not talking about that. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. I think we're kind of catching up on questions. Too easy. Sheldon Dennis just went pro. I'm sure. He claims pro. He claims it hard. That kid's a fucking kook. if it's the same kid. I don't know. His name's Sheldon or Shelton or something. He's a fucking nerd. All right. Let's see. Cameron Holmrest. Kevin needs to carve a Napton twin. No, he doesn't. If he wants to, he can, but no, by and large. This is the reason. I always get people that are like, why don't you review a Napton twin? Because if I tell you how I honestly feel about it and it sucks and it's not what Napton is force-feeding down you to make sales so that he makes a commission, everyone's going to jump on the hate train. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah. So let's see what we got going on here. I think we're kind of caught up on those questions. Ninja Bick, do you rock with United Shapes? There's a few reviews of the United Shapes. I was hoping to get on some more this year. No one really knows what's going on with the local rep and whatnot, but my local shop, The Underground, does carry them. They just don't have any demos that I can grab. Adam Cole, is there any way to rock white pants and not be a loser? I'm super hyped about those Burton bibs, but don't want to be ostracized. You have to keep them as clean as possible at all times. Like, you might as well walk around with a whiteout pen just covering up dirt with whiteout on them. No, white is god-awful. Ugh. Dweezy. Oh, he's a Vertica Pro now, apparently. Shit, you know. Cool, he rides for Fisher Price My First Outerwear. Good for him. Slow fucking clap. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. And we are 2 hours, 10 minutes into this live stream. Okay, do you have any upcoming trips planned? I got a few for around the county, and then there's going to be like a jumbo-ass road trip. Western Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Montana to Wyoming back down to Colorado, back here. Not sure how long that trip's going to take or when it will be exactly. And then I want to get down to New Mexico and Arizona. I'm actually going to pick up the new Indy Pass for $199 because there's a bunch of little resorts I want to hit with it. And I think if I hit like 4 resorts and I go both days on it, it'll definitely be worth it. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what I got going on. Okay. Just in case, have you done Elta Resort in Utah? Yeah, I go there all the time. Ride my fucking skis, hang out with a bunch of pretentious douche nozzles. No, snowboarders don't ride Elta. Miguel, yesterday I noticed for the first time a guy with a Rorock helmet, a sign that the tourist season is starting. How should one react? I was freezed with flashbacks at you. You should mock them. Mock them horribly. Throw things at them. Tell them to get off the mountain. Just be awful to them. They suck. All right. I feel like we're kind of running out of questions here, guys. It's the same people. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what's going on. Michael Trombator, does anyone know if the Kevlar bound sidewalls on the DOA make that much of a difference? It changes the rebound and the properties in it a little bit. It's like a slight dampening agent in there. A lot of companies have used Kevlar, but you'll see it under its common name, which is Aramid, because Kevlar is trademarked and you have to pay to use that term. But there's a lot of companies actually using Aramid in there. And just in case, just got his ass fucking booted because he's a closet fucking skier. Boom. There we go, douche nozzle. Go suck your ski pole dicks with your butthole, you fucking fruit booter. All right. Michael Trombator. Not just to prevent dents. No, it's not just to prevent dents. Like, it actually has like an elasticity to it and like a dampening agent in there. I mean, I've never heard of anyone actually using Aramid in their boards to prevent a dent. Neither the potato. So many people getting booted. Well, when you suck, right? So you get fucking thrown out. Billy Kennedy, I got to take a shit at Alta. I hope you shit on top of the toilet and then wiped your ass with like everything that you shouldn't have, you know? Yeti, hi Angry. Pick your line or Kazu for a quiver slot with Mercury, Optimistic, and Archetype. Ooh, you got some great boards in there. I'd go with the Kazu over the pick your line. I think that's going to be the biggest difference. Like you're going to have that super aggressive camber charger. The pick your line kind of overlaps all three of everything else you have. Spencer Thompson, favorite trail spot at Stevens. If you know where the natural half pipe is on the backside, then you know where the goods are. That's all I'm going to say. Also, if you're in the natural half pipe on the backside, don't fall in the creek bed. That sucks. Oh. So, yeah. Let's see. What else? Yeah, you got more. Most of your faves are in my room. Damn, dude, you got a lot of boards then. Jimmy McElroy, how often do you stone grind a board per season? For me, my stuff maybe once a season if it actually needs it, but I'm usually product testing so much stuff that my stuff doesn't need it. Realistically, you should, if you have any base work done, get it stone ground, put a structure in there. You should have one for when it gets colder and it's mid-season. It's a little finer snow, and then you should do one for the spring to break up that suction when you're getting in the slush and the chunder. So yeah. Do we still need the story of raw vegan Averin? I never went raw vegan ever. I went through this weird phase where I cut out all processed sugar for about 3 months, and I dropped down to 154 pounds, and I looked like a skeleton, and then I freaked out and started eating chicken wings. It was crazy though. Yeah, I was eating like no processed sugar at all, and eating like just fruits and vegetables, and just like with yogurt and granola, and it was crazy. It was super fucking crazy. All right, what else we got going on here? Dweezy, are you doing a meetup in Brighton? I don't know, Marchish. No, we're thinking Powder Mountain instead, in a little bit northern Utah. Not sure if it'll be Marchish, might be February. I got to kind of see, like, I got some trips planned and stuff, and I got to see, like, the workload in there. But the idea was to do Powder Mountain because cat laps are $25, so that's pretty affordable for a lot of people. So we could all, like, just go do a cat lap. And I like the fact that Powder Mountain caps their day ticket sales, so the mountain isn't super crowded. So it could be one of those things, like, if there was like 20 of us, it's not going to be a really crowded mountain, and we could just, like, four chair all the way back, and then kind of go from there. So yeah. Dim Dimes, have you been to Revelstoke? Not yet. I was actually looking at the map the other day for this road trip and thinking about cutting up into Canada and check that out, and like Castle Mountain and Apex. I really want to drive up to Vancouver and just go hang out at the Wired office with Rob and do like a meet and greet up there, and then maybe go ride like Grouse or Seymour or something. So I need to just do a tour across Canada. All right. Yeah, I think that's good. Fat Man Scoot, planning a trip to ride A Basin off my Icon Pass end of January with some friends. Flying in from LAX to Denver. Tips on maximizing time and efficiency, i.e. lodging, transport, food, money, not an issue. Okay, so this is what I would do to maximize your trip. Fly into Denver, take the shuttle up here, stay at the Dillon Best Western in Dillon, Colorado. It's right behind the Arapahoe Cafe. It's like from the 70s. It's a throwback for sure. But rent a car up here. There's a place in Breckenridge, and there's also an Enterprise in Frisco. The place in Breckenridge, I can't think of it, but it's behind the 7-Eleven. It's all like Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's all-wheel drive with snow tires. I know that. Just get a local car for up here. He also runs he owns Peak One Express, I believe, so you can get a shuttle and car rental through him. But you could probably even get him to just drop the car off at your hotel, so that way you just pick it up when you're there. That way you just have a car, because it's a straight shot from Dillon to A-Basin. Like if the highway doesn't close, you're there in about 7 minutes, and that'll get you your optimized plan. Also, the Dillon Best Western, right in front of it is the Arapahoe Cafe. That is the best breakfast joint in the whole county. I don't even eat beef anymore, but if I did get the smoked brisket, they make it themselves. They have a smoker out front. Like they smoke all their own meats and shit. Really good for breakfast, brunch type food, but they have a pub called the Pub Down Under underneath it. Kind of garbage and janky, so don't eat dinner there. Across the street from that is Pug Ryan's. My friend Ryan actually is my friend Tyler. Sorry, not Ryan. Tyler. Is the head chef over there. They've got some really solid food. It's a brewery as well, so you could eat there. Plus, staying in Dillon, you're less than a quarter mile from the Frisco, or from the Silverthorne, Dillon, Dilverthorne, whatever you want to call it, city market, so you can just get groceries if you need it. Also, do eat at the mountain at the Basin. They have a 3-star chef there. The base area, you can get like a poke bowl and stuff like that. That's really solid. The Black Mountain Lodge is like hit or miss on what you get, but then up at the top at the overlook, they do like a charcuterie board and stuff, so you could always catch that as well. So yeah, but Dillon Best Western, rent the car through, I think it's Peak One Express, because that way you can take the shuttle from the airport. You don't have to drive 70 at all. There's no shit show. They'll get you here. They'll get you here on time. You don't have to worry about it. Have the rental car. That way you're just driving like straight to the Basin, and you can go to the grocery store or any of the restaurants on that side. If you like steaks and stuff, go to the Mint Steakhouse in Silverthorne. It's one of those places where you get to cook it, but it's like the oldest steakhouse in Colorado or something. So there's that. There's the Angry James Brewery over there. I mean, it's hit or miss, I guess. But you could also drive over to Breckenridge, if you do come to Breckenridge, restaurants I would check out would be Orem Twist, Briar Rose, Modus, and then if you want like really good tacos, Sancho's Tacos in south side of Breckenridge as well. Also, if you want good tacos and you're on that side of the lake, the La Perla Mall down by the Target in Silverthorne is good. So yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of how to maximize a basin. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Henry Davis, any thoughts on how many resorts are starting to be taken over by only a few companies, Epic, Icon, etc.? Oh, dude, it's funny to me because every time Vail announces something, Alterra's like, well, we've got this now. Like, Alterra's parent company is a giant holding company that owns a lot of golf courses and like stuff in the Caribbean. So they've actually got a ton of money, and they understand the game, I think, a little bit better than Vail. Like, Vail was a ski resort company that started to get into real estate, and Rob Katz is like the guy driving it. But eventually they'll get too big to fail, and then they'll fail, because that's kind of how they do it. One of them will develop a boondoggle. Intrawest tried this at one point in the past. It just sort of happens. They're just playing on a bigger scale, and then we'll see things shake out. But what I like is there's something like the Indy Pass. It's $199, and you get 2 days at all these little mom and pop places that are off the beaten path. Yeah. Let's see. Billy Kennedy, if you go to Castle Mountain, put it on Instagram. I'll meet you there. I like to fly under the radar, bud. Fizzled, what do you like to use to structure your base? A stone grinding machine and a belt? Okay, let's see what's going on. Xander Castro, best Mexican restaurant in Brack, Mikasa, Angel's Hollow, Sancho's Tacos, or Fiesta Jalisco? Oh, God. I mean, if you're talking Mexican, Fiesta Jalisco is probably the closest you're going to get. Mikasa is just like a churn and burn. I mean, they'll do like 800 dinners in a night on an average night. Angel's Hollow, I don't really consider it Mexican so much. It's like Tex-Mex, if anything. And Sancho's is street tacos. Realistically, the best place to go would be Hacienda Real in Frisco, right by the Walmart. It's worth the drive. All right. Just so everyone knows, Kevin Hubb is leaving the building. So hopefully you got your questions answered by Kevin. Thanks for doing this for me, bud. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, Miguel. I ride with Burton Ions, thinking about adding a pair of Burton tourist boots for long hikes. Can one assume if one fits my foot, the other two? Does split board boot just for foot hiking make sense? No, that doesn't, because you're not going to get the ankle articulation that you want. And boot models tend, unless it's based off of an ion, it's going to fit different, I bet. Ugh. Ew. James Cathy, I want to go to Mikasa. So, ew. Ugh. Ugh. No one wants to go to Mikasa. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Rich Nubs, the Tahoe Shred Shop just closed. Opening weekend, the customer's something else. Probably because they were trapped in traffic in a snowstorm and were thinking of having to eat their young to survive. I don't know. Tahoe got fucking hammered. All right. Bull Mountain. Jarrell Moore. Bull Mountain, go changing or don't go changing? Well, I think Bull Mountain is like from Out Cold is the outlier of what will eventually happen to Vail Resorts. Den Times, this question might be old, but what are the main differences between the Mercury and Mountain Twin? So Mountain Twin has magna traction, so the edge hold is a little bit different. It also has a thicker core profile, so it's a little more damp. It's not as lively. It's easier to press on the Mercury. The Mercury is a little bit more lively. The snap is about the same for both of them, but if I had to choose one for riding through Rotodat Chunder and being damp, it would be the Mountain Twin. So hopefully that answers that. We're 2 hours, 26 minutes into this live stream. I'm going to go for 4 more minutes, even it out like at a solid 2 hours and a half. So if you guys got questions, pop them over there now. Otherwise, if you haven't bought anything off angrysnowboarderstore.com, swing over there, see if there's anything left in your size that you might want, or pick up some stickers. If you haven't joined Angry Snowboarder VIP, I strongly recommend doing that. We're going to have a slight revamp on that, and we're going to be announcing some new things that we're working on. Let's see what else is going on. You can expect a bunch more binding reviews coming out here in the future. Yeah. Let's see. Ninja Big, best beginner boards. There's actually a top 5 beginners boards in the top 5 list, so go check that out. Dan Dimes, yeah, I think Mountain Twin is the one. Yeah, I definitely get that. Okay. If no one's got any more questions, I might just cut it short right now. After all, I pretty much streamed like 5 hours. Dean Hinton, one more story. No. If I keep giving you guys all my stories, eventually I'm going to run out. And if I run out, that means I have to go make more stories, which means interacting with people. And I don't like interacting with people. People are fucking weird. Fucking weird. Water bottle. How to convince my mother to drive me to the resorts every day. You're not even old enough to drive yourself to the resort. Jesus Christ, man. And you work in a snowboard factory. You know what you need to do? There's a store called Murdoch's. Now, they probably don't have it in Tahoe, but they're starting to expand. And they sell a 196cc Coleman pit bike. At least they claim it's 196cc. I think it's 96cc. But they're selling them for Black Friday for $5.99. You should buy one, because I think you can drive it on the road without a license. And there you go. You can Dumb and Dumber it all the way up from Sparks, Nevada to Tahoe to go shred. All right. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it. Either that or convince your mom to go on a date with me and I'll become your stepdad. Then I'll drive you to the mountain and we'll shred, but I'm going to make you pay for all the tacos. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in for the live stream. Really appreciate this. Hopefully I was able to help everyone this week with the top 5s, the Black Friday live stream. You know, I love doing these like big live stream event things. It always just turns into like just knowing that the snowboard community is out there. Thanks again for putting up with Creepy Alan Russell and Kevin. And hopefully we'll have another live stream here next month or something. But remember, I'm taking off from the 18th to the 28th. Fly back to the old country, deal with some family shit, and celebrate birthday, Christmas, all that fun shit. Anyways, about to pull the plug. So you guys have a good one.